Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well. Sunday, the 29th of October. Morning, Steve.
Morning, Buck. How are you? I got a brew here as well, mate.
Good stuff, mate. Where's you just showed me you had bloody Darth Vader mug there 2 seconds ago.
Oh, it was just sitting. It was sitting on the corner of the table there. I grabbed it.
I thought you were having your brew out of the Darth Vader mug. YouTube telling me I'm live. Morning, everyone. Hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in on this Sunday morning. Bit of news to go through, a little bit of sporting news. And then we'll get in and we'll talk about the main subject of today is what's Buck done now? He's bloody changes his mind more than a woman. And
I'll tell you what, you've got me in the shit, Buck.
Why? What happened?
Oh, mate, yeah, like Buck rung me up a few weeks ago and or sent me a message and asked me was the trailer still for sale. And I said, yeah. And he said, well, how much? And I told him the price. And anyway, he said, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. I want to do a video and I want to come down and we'll do a sneaky video and I'll walk in and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, I thought, I won't tell anyone. I'll tell you what, he's told more people. I've had more people ring me up and say things out of the blue, like Jason from Crazy Dog. He rings me up and says, how you going, mate? He goes, have you sold the trailer yet? And I said, no. Anyway, he rings me up a day later and says, oh, Buck told me.
He's crazy if you're watching. You bloody got a loud mouth. I said, don't tell anyone, crazy. But
Terry G, poor Terry G. I had to bloody lie to Terry G.
I only told about 50 people, that's all. Couldn't help myself. I told Jason Slade, and then Nicky comes on the other day. Oh, he's buying his new trailer, which is someone else's old trailer. I thought, Nicky, just blurt it out. Tell everyone on social media. Why don't you? I'm trying to keep it a secret, but I think most people have worked out what I was doing. It wasn't a huge secret, Steve. I was just bloody, yeah. Anyway, was it a snap decision? Yeah, we'll talk about it soon anyway. We'll do some shout-outs first because I'll go into D. I know there's some people out shaking their head. They're going, yeah, Slacken's on. We'll say good day to Slacken in a minute. Everyone's shaking their head going, Buck, everyone's going from a camper trailer to a caravan. You've gone that way and now going back. And that's the big thing. Why am I doing that? But hey, let's do some shout-outs like we always do, Steve. Everyone's on. Lewis Kudlak over in Western Australia. Gail Rawlings is there. Steve Webb's on. He said, oh, shit, I might be at work. Don't get caught by the boss, Steve, whatever you do. Make sure you're hiding your iPhone.
Lukey
OCC girl. Lukey's on. I think both Lukey. Is Lukey the diddly donk from Tasmania, Lukey? He might be on too. Guess, JCO J-Pod Outback. No, I didn't get that at all. Those J-Pods are cute little things, Steve, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. We actually did look at those once.
Yeah.
The Wanderer from Tasmania.
Who's on?
The Wanderer from Tasmania.
Where is he?
He's in Tassie and Hobart.
Yeah, I know he's down there because he filmed the whole bloody thing. Howdy, folks. Now, hang on. I've got a bone to pick with this bloke. No, not him. Where is he? It moved just as I was doing it. Hang on. Where is it? Oh,
he's putting the police cap on.
Wanderer. Geez, my head's got bigger since I've got out of the coppers, Steve. That looks like a bloody... That's about 8 sizes too small. Wanderer, if you're watching, I'm sending you a ticket in the mail. Driver use handheld mobile phone. Drive without due care and attention. Lucky you didn't kill someone. It would have been bloody dangerous operation of a motor vehicle causing grievous bodily harm or death. Bloody reading your phone while you're driving, Wanderer. I had to put my copper's hat on. I'm sending you a ticket in the mail. And it's not reading your iPhone while you're driving along. Isn't a good look, mate.
And you can throw on there too, Buck, filming in Tasmania. A YouTuber filming in Tasmania is against national parks and wildlife down there.
Well, you only told me about that the other day, and apparently Harry from Fire to Fork and Andrew St. Pierre White have got a video up about it, and I just filmed down in Tassie myself, and knew nothing about that bullshit. I don't know. We won't go into that because I don't know too much about it. But apparently you can't film if you make money off YouTube in Tasmania unless you pay them. You got to pay Tasmania to film down there. What a load of shit that is. Yeah. That is an absolute crock of shit. People are down there filming, Steve. And like I was doing, mate, I was promoting Tasmania before I threw the channel in. What a beautiful place it was. Look at all this, encouraging people to come down there. And then they want to charge you for it. That just sums up this fucking country, mate. How we're going down the gurgler and what a load of shit it is. And it's bloody there. Anyway, Rob, there you go. I'm going to send you a ticket in the mail for using your mobile phone while you're driving. Even reading it, mate, will still get you a ticket.
Freddy Boots is on there, mate. Freddie Boots has just come back from 6 months on the road, and I'll tell you what, he's been towing that caravan around on his own, and he's done an absolutely fantastic job. Really enjoyed his photos and everything.
Good on you, Danny. Bloody good stuff, mate. Hopefully, is Freddie coming to the camp up, mate? The Legends camp up?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah.
It'd be good to see Danny there, and we wore his Motor Neurone beanies and socks around on our holiday down in Tassie, and that Danny gave us some beanies and socks from motor neurone disease, and we wore them everywhere, mate. And your socks were lifesavers. I don't wear socks often, but I'll tell you what, I had the Freddy Boots on. Let me tell you that he gave us in honour of his late wife who passed away from motor neurone disease, Steve. And I had a really good mate of mine, an ex-copper that I work with. He was only in his early 50s, passed away from motor neurone disease. What a terrible thing it is. It is a terrible thing, and I really hope they find a cure for that. And a great footballer, Carl Webb, who was a tough footballer, played for the Brisbane Broncos and the North Queensland Cowboys. Carl Webb's got motor neurone disease at the moment, and it's really sad to see him at the moment. He's been on YouTube, on Facebook and that, on the Cowboys pages, and just to see Charlie Webb, that was his nickname. He looks like an old frail man now, and he was just such a brute and a tough man when he was played for Queensland and Australia, and now he's got motor neurone, and he's just, I don't know, it's just sad to see, mate. It really is. It's a bloody horrible thing. It really is. It's that and cancer, and not good at all. Anyway, sorry, Rob, I'm only having a go at you. I'm only having a joke, but I was sitting there the other day. Loved a bit when you were sitting there going on the Spirit of Tasmania, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, that's good. And I think there was nothing wrong with that. But when you were driving, Roz was watching you while we were driving. I said to Roz, don't send him messages while he's driving. We shouldn't be promoting him looking at trying to read his phone while he's driving. So anyway, mate, I had to put my old copper's hat on, and I was sitting there thinking, nah, buddy, put your phone on and have a chat, but just don't read the thing, mate, because if you do have an accident, it's going to come back and bite you on the ass. They'll go back through it, mate, and if they find out you're live streaming while you're driving, you're in a world of hurt, mate. And it's just some friendly advice. That's all I'm saying. So anyway,
Phil the Maniac's on there and Terry G.
Yeah, Phil. Yeah, I know. Phil the Maniac said I'm guilty of sending Rob messages. Yeah, I know. But Snorky, I was talking to Snorky yesterday, and Snorky said, yeah, but he wasn't touching his phone. And I said, but Rob, Snorky, I said, he's driving along, mate, and he's reading his iPhone and not watching the road. And if you have an accident and kill someone, you're off to the big house. It's as simple as that. I can't be any plainer about that. If they find out you're live feeding and you have an accident, mate, you're going in the can. If you injure or bloody kill someone. That's how serious it is. $1,000 fine up here for using your mobile phone in Queensland. I don't know what it is down south, but yeah. Anyway, we'll leave it at that.
Well, when you come in and picked up the camper the other day, you were going through Wondai. I remember I said to you about the new cameras they've got all around here.
Yeah. Those big lime green boxes. They look like my bloody shirt, a big lime green box, and they pick up if you're touching your phone or reading, I don't know, doing anything wrong inside the cabin of your vehicle. I'll tell you, I didn't even know. I've never seen them before. I saw one outside Kingaroy, Steve, when I come down the other day. And I must admit, I saw one in Mackay the other day, coming into Mackay. Haven't seen them up around Cairns or Innisfail. We're about bloody 10 years behind up here in far north Queensland, mate. They'll get up here eventually, I suppose.
someone's just put up, there is a way for messages to be read out. They do it. Like some modern cars, they'll actually read your message out as they come up on the, if you're using the iPhone app.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I know Snorky said he's got something. Someone sends you a text, you can say, Siri, read text, and they can read, and then you can say, Siri, reply, and that's fine. That's hands-free. You're allowed to do that. But can you do it while you're, like, for someone in Rob's position where he wants to read messages on a live chat, and let's face it, mate, it's not easy to read the messages. They're moving. No. And when you're driving a vehicle and trying to read messages on YouTube, it's dangerous. And
Gidgey's on there.
Yeah, g'day, Gidge. How are you? So for Rob the Wanderer, if there is a program that could read out the messages to Rob while he's doing, I mean, it's a fantastic. Everyone loves watching Rob, what he's doing and all that. The concept's great, Rob. Just you reading your phone while you're driving's not. But if you can find a way around that through an app that can read out YouTube live thing, I'd hate to do it on one of mine where you can't even see them. They're just going up, especially on the Saturday night where you get a lot of messages. But for Rob, where he's only got, say he's got 10 or 12 people on while he's doing his long drives, and then every now and then a message comes up and his phone says, message from Phil the Maniac. Hey, Rob, what town are you coming into now? And then Rob can actually just talk and reply to that without having to read his phone. So if anyone knows how to help Rob out with that, to do that, people are probably going, shut up, Buck, it's Rob's channel. And I'm just bloody, I don't know. I don't like being an ex-copper, guys. It was one of my pet hates. People still see it now. Yeah, traffic lights. And all you're seeing, the friggin' women are the worst for it. They head down. As soon as the lights, they stop their vehicle at the lights, their head's down in their lap, reading on Facebook or reading messages. It's like, put your fucking phone away while you're behind the wheel of a car. And that's one thing, Steve. I used to let a lot of people off tickets. I wasn't a traffic cop or anything. But if I saw someone with their mobile phone plastered to their ear, they got a fucking ticket every time off me because it used to piss me off. Everyone knew what the rule was. Leave your friggin' mobile phone alone while you're driving because it can fucking kill people. And that's exactly why that law's in place, mate. It distracts you from watching the road, which is your number one purpose when you're behind the wheel of a motor vehicle. It's one of the most dangerous things you will do is driving that vehicle. I was talking to RSM of SASR one day about how dangerous parachuting was because he used to love doing it. And he goes, mate, you know what the most dangerous part of parachuting is? I said, what's that? He says, driving to the friggin' airport to get on the plane. And he's probably right.
He was right, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
I was just reading some of the comments there. I was watching old Gidgey this morning. He was pouring some green stuff into his boards he's making. He looks bloody interesting. Old Annie's been watching all that on YouTube lately.
Yeah, no, they look good. Gidgey's pouring another. It's not a chopping board. Gidgey said they're too good to be a chopping board, Steve. He said they're a presentation board. So if you have a nice cheese platter or whatever. So what Gidgey's doing, guys, is he puts a couple of nice bits of timber and then in the middle pours a beautiful blue or a green or a red resin in, and the resin turns it basically into a chopping board. But Gidgey, and then you sand it down and it comes up like absolutely beautiful once it's all sanded down. And that metallic-y look in the resin and that, you can make it any color you want, like a metallic blue. He's doing one at the moment, a nice metallic green one. And he said, they're too good to use as a chopping board. He said you use them for cheese, if you bloody cheese and biscuit presentation or a fruit platter and that, you bring it out on that. And
we were watching, Annie was watching one on YouTube there on the weekend, and this guy had two big slabs of timber and he made a tabletop, and he actually put red strobe lights, like those what's name lights all through it, and then he put rocks in there, and he put a red resin in it, and when you turn it on, it looks like a lava running through the middle of the table.
Did you hear that, Gidge? Yeah, I know, mate. Like, Gidgey, put your there we go. I'll just highlight that. Hemaroo, the guy on YouTube, on Facebook, it's called Hemaroo, and he's in Brisbane. And you go onto Facebook, everyone, type in Hemaroo and like that page. And stuff like that, Phil, where there's one on there where he put shells like a tabletop and it had all gouges out of the timber. And then he put shells and everything in. And the big gouge out of the top of the table, mate, looked like he put a blue and a green, like a turquoisey resin through. And it looked like a bloody turquoise, something you'd see in the South Island in New Zealand, mate. One of those beautiful streams. And, oh, mate, just incredible what they can do there. Who's this bloke? Here you go. Gidgy said he might donate one of those beautiful boards for the camp up. What a great idea, Gidge. That would be absolutely beautiful. Here we go.
I'll definitely be buying some tickets for that.
We want you for Prime Minister. Cheers from the Greek from Sydney. G'day, doing all right. The Greek from Sydney. And I've got me best mate, the Greek from Townsville, I call him, John Papadopoulos. He's me best mate. He's a bloody wog, a Townsville wog. Don't take that to heart, mate. We used to call him the Batwog. He turned up to a party one night dressed as Batman, and then he got the nickname Batwog after that. Pap turned up dressed up in a Batman outfit, and it stuck with him. People still call him Batwog. Bloody 30 years later. It's just funny how things stick. Phil's right into this. I wonder if all that resin will work for what I want to do, Terry. I don't know. Get on that Hemaroo, Phil, on Facebook and have a look at what he does there. Absolutely incredible. Paulie Martin's on saying good morning, everyone. Yeah, and I hope you're all having a great morning. And someone who is having a great morning is this man, Heinrich Herselman, guys. Me good mate, me Safa mate there. Heinz celebrating this morning because the Springboks got up over the All Blacks this morning in the Rugby World Cup final, guys. The Springboks have done it. I think they've won it 4 times now. Fantastic. But what does shit me, mate, is the only team that didn't score a try won it. That's what I hate about rugby union, mate, is that teams can still win and they don't score a try. And that's what happened with South Africa. I think they've put 4 penalties over. The All Blacks actually scored a try and still lost, but sounds like a tight game, Hein. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you score your points. England the other day nearly beat South Africa, and it was all through penalty goals and a field goal, like 3-pointers. I just hate teams who win games and they don't score a try. It's bullshit. At least in rugby league, if you want to win a game, you've got to score tries. And that's why I think rugby league's so much better than rugby union. Rugby union's just become a bloody penalty shootout-a-thon now. And I haven't watched it for ages. The All Black, thanks, John, but respect to the All Blacks. Heinz said Heinz a great sport. So it sounded like 12-11, I think, was the final score there. So what a great game. And
what was the score in the what was the score in the ladies there yesterday afternoon, the Aussies and the bloody Kiwis?
Well, the Silver Ferns, the female Kiwis got up over the Aussie girls in the rugby league. I think the New Zealand girls won, but watched the game last night and the Aussies beat the Kiwis last night in the rugby league. It wasn't the final. The final's next week. We ran away with it towards the end, but it was a good, tough game up with about 10 minutes to go. And then the Aussies kind of went, right, we'll put the foot down now. And it was good. I think the Aussies, a couple of their good players weren't playing. But next week they'll have their best team on the field. But, yeah, you can always, 12-11, Heinz said. You'll always guarantee anything between New Zealand and Australia is going to be a good game. And Gidgy saying, message that guy from Hemaroo, Phil. He's all about timber, etc. He'll be able to tell you for sure. But, so Gidgy's right into these boards. Maybe he'll branch out and do a nice coffee table one day. But the thing is that resin, and that's not cheap, Steve. It's an expensive hobby, mate. It's not a cheap hobby, which is a shame because that resin is absolutely incredible. I said to Gidgy, I'd love to do a little coffee table and put all my army and police and corrections badges or something there and put a clear resin and have them set in a resin. Maybe that's something we can do down the track. If Gidgy ever comes home, we can look at doing that and make a little coffee table at home with all my badges and that in there. So What do we got on? Holy dooly, 100. I looked just before, Steve. We had 30-something people on, and I thought that's not bad. And it's just scooted up to 132. Wow. So everyone's sitting at home. Hope you're all sitting at home with a coffee, everyone, and enjoying it. Anyway, as you know, guys, went down the other day. You probably know by now, and met up with the man on screen and his lovely wife, Annie, and Winnie the dog. And if you don't know, Buck has done a backflip, and he's gone from a dot camper trailer, drifter off-road tourer, if you don't know what dot stands for. It was a camper trailer that was made by Drifter, camping and four-wheel drives. And there's about 400, just over 400 of them out there somewhere, Steve. Yeah. And they're a fantastic camper trailer, mate. It's a shame that they aren't still made, but it's just like another thing. It would just become not a viable proposition for Luke to keep the dot factory open, mate, because of the cost of manufacturing in this country. And I had some extensive chats with Luke years ago now, when he was about to close the dot factory, and Luke was telling me all about what he was up against trying to manufacture camper trailers in this country. And it wasn't easy. Like, he was up against it, mate. And I think it comes to the stage where you just got to go, unfortunate, but I've got to go. And he had to close it down. I know he was passionate about it, and I like them, mate. Those dot trailers, there's some designs on them that I love. It's not for everyone, but it's my style of camping. And as you know, Roz and I had a dot 7, and it was an equipment trailer. And we first started off just having the Oz 10 on the top. We went through the Northern Territory and that with a thing, and it had an old super peg awning on. And you know, when I went to the Caravan, Steve, I kind of sat there thinking, it just doesn't feel like camping anymore, being in a Caravan. And I'll go into other issues with the Caravan soon, because a lot of people are still going, but you haven't got it's obvious a lot of people don't watch my live feeds, mate, because you wouldn't believe how many people now get on Facebook and go, where's your Caravan? Like, people just go up to date. And it's been months now, mate, that I've sold that Caravan. People still think I'm going around Australia in the bloody Jawa SCKO, and I've sold it, and I'll go into it now so people can hear exactly why I sold it. Yeah, there's some good points and bad points. Like any camping setup, Steve, nothing's perfect, is it? Nothing is perfect. No.
The dot's a good camper though. Like if you just want something robust and looks good and tough, and because I love you look at the shape of the dot. Luke has very well designed it off a army trailer. That's basically, I think, how he's got the design, because it's got really deep sides in it, and really, really well engineered. And when he got to the end of them, they were nearly a perfect trailer, I reckon. Yeah, no, they were good, and I've certainly got an upgrade from old Dot 129, which I had. They're being made again by Drifter. Now, listen, I shouldn't comment on this. I don't know if they are or if they aren't. I've also heard rumours that he's getting dots made again, but they'll be made in China. I don't know if that's true. Don't quote me on that, everyone. I've heard that on the grapevine, that dot trailers. I know for a fact dot trailers are made in China, because when Luke was manufacturing them in Australia, you could go on Alibaba and type in camper trailer, and bugger me, there's an exact replica of a dot trailer on there, Chinese made. They ripped that idea off. Like the Chinese, mate, if they see something good, they'll copy it. Don't worry about that. They got no morals or scruples. They will copy it. And I saw with my own eyes on Alibaba a trailer that looked like it was just out of a dot factory. And that was years and years ago. And that's when Luke was manufacturing still his dot trailers down at Gloucester in New South Wales. I think he's actually bucked those new trailers. I think they're actually manufactured in Brisbane.
Well, that's good. If they are, great stuff.
Yeah, I've got a feeling they're actually. He's bought as far as I know, I think he's bought a couple of spec models, and he's going to give them a go and see how they go. He's going to put them in a couple of the stores just to see how they go. If they don't go, they don't go.
If he's done that, good on him. Fantastic. And I'm not saying, I said, don't quote me on that, guys. I heard that he was looking at making the dots again, but doing them overseas because it was going to be cheaper. That may be bullshit. Don't quote me on that. If he's looking at getting them made in Brisbane, good stuff. But I don't know. It's you start going out to people, and it's like crazy with his rooftop tents, trying to keep the price of the rooftop tents down. But every time he put an order in for this and that, the price kept going up, and he had to keep putting the prices up on his rooftop tents, which is why he's not making them anymore. It's so tough to manufacture in this country now, Steve, because of bloody wages is a big one. The cost of electricity, the cost to rent a tin shed to use as your factory, because everyone's greedy as buggery in this country now and wants top dollar for their rent. And we've just priced ourselves out of the market, mate. You got to, if you employ more than so many people, the government hits you for payroll tax for employing people. And that was another one Luke was telling me. He said, why should I be punished for employing 100 people in this country? I should be being rewarded. And he's exactly right when he says that. It's just, there's too much going against you trying to manufacture in this country. It really is. It's all right if it's a 1 or a 2-man show. You might get away with it. Why do you think Holden and Ford don't do it anymore? It just couldn't. They couldn't produce cars at a competitive cost compared to importing them. I just don't know how it works. But anyway, we got no one to blame but ourselves, Steve. Australia, and I'm talking about Australia now. We've got no one to blame but ourselves. Yeah. Rando, I saw a King's trailer the other day, mate, and I'll tell you now, I know what I'd rather. I just got a .6 of Steve's second-hand drifter trailer, and there's no way I would think about getting a King's trailer over a second-hand Aussie-made drifter trailer. They are two totally different items, mate. I don't think I'd like to trust a King's trailer going up to Cape York on the old bloody, what's it called? The Peninsula Development Road with all the corrugations. I don't know if those, I might be wrong. They might be all right, but no, I don't. They're a similar trailer. They're a box-style trailer, and they do look very good. And if you're on a budget and you just want to, if you're on a budget, Steve, and you wanted to just do weekend camping or going here for a week to a caravan park and drive down the highway, go to a caravan park and camp up and be near the beach and all that, one of those King's trailers might be absolutely perfect for somebody. I'm not saying don't buy one. They'd probably be perfect, but everything's got its place, and but nothing's going to be perfect. So I know what Terry and Phil having a thing there.
Anthony Wicks has just put a good comment up there.
Anthony Wicks has.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I'm a project estimator for a steel fabrication company in New South Wales. The cost of labour is crazy before you even look at materials. Well, there you go, Anthony. Exactly right, mate. Every time everyone wants a pay rise. And I can understand it. The cost of living, if you've got a mortgage like we do, guys, the cost of, what's it called? Your repayments look like going up again on Melbourne Cup Day again. So your repayments. We're all right, Steve. We don't have a huge mortgage, but what are these people who got $400,000 or $500,000 loans and it's gone from 2% up to, what is it now, nearly 6% or whatever? There must be a lot of people out there struggling that have probably had to get rid of their homes, mate, because interest rates, every time the interest rates go up, every time you get your rates, and I live in one of the highest rates places on the Cassowary coast here in North Queensland, because we got such a big area with a lot of infrastructure, bridges and, all that stuff, but we don't have the population to support it. So we pay through the roof for our bloody rates each year, mate. And then if you've got a rental,
ours is about $1,600 a quarter. It's 3 times a year. And
then if it doesn't, you've got a rental property, and then they go and charge you extra rates. The council goes, your rates, we're going to up the rates on your rental property. Why? It's still got it's got sewerage, your bins, your water. What extra has it got to the house that you live in? But no, because it's a rental, they're putting their bloody claws into you to get more money out of you. Everyone in this country is fucking greedy, mate, and it's bringing us unstuck. I'll tell you now, greed is killing this country, and why the politicians cannot see that. And every time there's a new political changeover, what's the first thing that you hear about? Politicians' pay rise. Unbelievable. Yep. And there's people out there. Well, I remember the Screws. Every 3 years we go, we'd like a 2.5% pay rise to keep up with inflation. And we had to just about threaten to go on strike throughout the prisons to try and get a 2.5% pay rise. Yeah. It should be just an automatic because of inflation and everything. But it's still 2021 for a King's trailer. Yeah, Nathan, I don't know if that includes the fridge and all that type of stuff. Anyway, we'll talk more about that. Steve Wilkes is on, guys. I saw him there before, but we're in the middle of saying Steve Wilkes is on. Slacken's there from Toronto, Canada. Morning, Slacken, to you, or evening, I should say, and evening to Steve Wilkes from Ensenada in Mexico, Baja, Mexico, which is just down south of California there, guys, in Mexico. Steve, hope you're doing well, mate.
Oh, Justin Dillon.
That coffee is cold. Oh, I just had a big sip of it. It was like an iced coffee. Justin Dillon's on, the diddly donk from Victoria. Where's he? Maybe JD or something. He's under a false name, is he?
Lukey Reed's got to go.
Lukey Reed's got to go because he's on the Gold Coast at the moment. Don't tell anyone that Lukey Reed's on the Gold Coast. Watching the races, guys. And I think the Mustang got up yesterday. The Tickford Racing, the Monster Mustang, Ford Mustang got up. Yep, Lukey, enjoy the races, mate. Lukey's on a big holiday up on the North Island, guys, the mainland. And he's going to all the racing. He's been to Bathurst and he goes to all the monster trucks. And as you know, the supercars are racing on the Gold Coast this weekend. And Lukey said he's going to do an undies run down Main Beach, down there at bloody Surfers Paradise. Lukey Reed said he's going to strip off after the race into his underpants and run along the beach at Surfers Paradise. Lukey, send us some photos, mate, and we'll whack her up on Facebook. The girls will be going crazy. Pasty white Tasmanian doing an undies run along Surfers Beach, bloody Surfers Paradise Beach. I'd love to see that. Have a great day, Lukey, anyway, mate. Enjoy the races. What's Phil the Maniac? I've taken them to the local printer here at the Printer Legend Stickers. They have a printer that can print up to any material. It's a UV print. We're trying that out for the chopping boards. Okay. So Phil and them are onto something there. And speaking of stickers, I've started stickering up my camper trailer. And you wouldn't believe it. I put the Phil the Maniac sticker and a Snorky sticker on on the patches there. So I'm going to talk about patches soon. And I need to get more stickers. I have to get on and bloody order some more Legend stickers because I want to sticker up the camper trailer as well. I've my fridge and all that, which works like a beauty, Steve. We'll talk about the fridge soon. Justin Dillon saying, don't do an undies run down Surfers Paradise. Down Cavill Mall. Lukey, if you're going to do an undies run, do it down Cavill Mall there at the bloody thing. Tofty, now speaking of undies runs, Tofty was the best at it. Tofty always used to run around in his underpants. Harry Harris, greed is good. you diddly donk. Harry, that man on screen there used to be my boss. Speaking of underpants, here's a funny story. That arsehole on screen there, gee, you're looking old, Harry. You're not like spring chicken like me, mate. That bloke on screen used to be my boss in the army, guys, back in the early 90s. I was a sergeant at 103 Signal Squad, and Harry was my squadron quartermaster. Harry was my warrant officer, and he was a bloody top bloke. We used to have some laughs. Anyway, I come back from PT one morning, Steve, and Harry didn't go to PT. He stayed in his office and worked away while me and the diggers went away. We did PT for an hour, come back, had a shower. So I'm getting changed in the Q store, and I grabbed my new underpants out of my army duffel bag and put my uniform on, and I'm walking around there. 15 minutes later, I'm going, Jesus, my nuts are getting warm. And then the longer it went on, the hotter they got, and I thought, you bastard. While I was at tea, Harry went to me bag, got my fresh underpants out because he thought Buck's going to have a shower, get changed like he does every morning. And he's got some deep heat and rubbed repeat on the inside of my underpants. And when I put them on, it took about 10, 15 minutes, but then it started to soak into my ball sack. And I tell you what, I had to rip my clothes off and go back and I had to go commando for the rest of the day. I could not wear them underpants because this arsehole on screen sabotaged me bloody underpants while I was at PT. That's the type of shit that used to go on in the army. Jack Turtle saying good day to his buddy partner in crime, Gary Pye, the two diddly donks who stole Phil the Maniac's rooftop tent ladder one night, and Phil couldn't get out of bed the next morning unless he did a commando.
And they shoved it under the dot. They blamed me. I got the blame for that.
That's right. I forgot about that. They hid it under your bloody camper trailer, and you got the blame, or Phil the Maniac.
I got the blame for it.
Ladder. And it was Jack Turtle and Gary Pye, everyone. Hey, Gary, is Gary coming to the Legends camp? I hope he is. Warwick's not too far from the Gold Coast there.
Yeah, I think there's a few more camping spots there now too. Wanderer was talking about it the other night. They've opened up a little bit more room.
Yeah, good stuff. That'll be fan. The more the better, mate. And speaking of all these resins and all that type of stuff, I didn't realise that Gary Pye, he can supply, Terry makes all these pens, all those, on the lathe and that. He gets all that stuff from Gary Pye. And I think Gary can get resins and all that too a bit cheaper. So Gidgy, don't be surprised if Gidgy rocks up at your place, Gary, and get some stuff off you, mate. Buy some stuff off you because I didn't realise what you were doing down there, Gary. But Gary has all that type of stuff, which is fantastic. Who else we got on? Nicky Slade's there. The jibber jabberer from bloody Gloucester who let the cat out of the bag the other day said, Buck's going down to Kingaroy to get his new camper trailer, which is someone's old camper trailer. And I read that and thought, Nicky, just tell everyone what Buck's doing, why don't you? Bloody unbelievable. Never tell him.
Like Terry probably wasn't on there earlier when I told him that he rung me and I upset him because I didn't. I lied to him. I said, he asked me straight out, did Buck buy your camper? And I said, no. And he hung up and he didn't talk to me for 3 days.
I'll tell you what, you stayed staunch, Steve, on that because you didn't tell anyone. It was me who was blabbing it out, letting hints out there and there. I didn't tell you, but yeah, no, you stayed staunch, mate. I'll give you that for sure. Nicky didn't. I told Jason Slade the other night, him and Brad Howell and Justin Dillon, before we went live, I said, hey, fellas, I've got a secret. I'm going down to pick up Fuller's camper trailer. Next minute, Nicky Slade's on social media saying, Buck's going down to bloody blah, blah, blah. And that's what I thought. I was going to put a post up. If you want information to get out, there's 3 ways to do it. Telegram, telephone, and tell a woman. I'll tell you now, I'm waiting for the door to fly open and the Roz to fly in here and knock me clean out after that comment. But Nicky's trying to defend herself now. It had been said somewhere. Oh, yeah, it was said to your husband, Nicky, in confidence. And next thing, Buck's going down to pick his new camper trailer up, which was someone's old camper trailer. And I thought, well, if people don't cotton on now as to what Buck's doing, they're dumb as dog shit. And Terry G mustn't have seen that one. I know Snorky knew. Snorky cottoned on a couple of days before I went down. But was it Roachy or a few people said, you're getting a camper trailer, Buck. You're getting a camper trailer. So a few people must have thought I was going back to a camper trailer. And we
I know. When you said you bought it, I actually took the links down off Facebook Facebook Marketplace. So a few people were wondering why that it disappeared off Facebook Marketplace.
There you go. That's not me. I didn't put that message up. That's Roz out on the iPad, guys. He said, "You are the biggest gossiper," and I am. I can't help myself. If I've got a secret. Can you believe this? They used to trust me in the army with a top secret security clearance. They didn't know how bad I was. If I got some exciting news to say, I can't help myself. I've got to tell people about it. So yeah, I had a TS clearance in the army. Can you believe that? But it was a bit more serious in the army. The shit that they trusted you with, you weren't allowed to tell people unless they unless they were in on it. Yeah. I used to work with some good gear in the army, Steve. That was classified material and that, mate.
Yeah.
And which is probably old technology now. Some of the shit that was top secret, that thing can do more than what that could do, if you know what I mean. Like the communications technology we had when I was in it, that thing there would shit all over it now. It's just how far we've come, mate. Yeah. I'd love to do another live feed one day with Lofty Evans, my old boss from the army, who was a supervisor of communications, and Pap again, and talk about army communications and how far it's come. And it's just a whole new world now. Rhonda Oliphant. That's why we love no bullshit. Yeah, no, I'm full of shit, Rhonda. If you ask Roz, she said, I am full of shit. I know what you mean. The Oliver family's on. G'day, Oliver family. There they are. There's the kids. Behind every man is a great woman with a baseball bat normally, or a cricket bat, ready to slug you in the back of the head. I got an alarm on that door, so if it opens, I've got time to fly out the window. If Roz
big
comes
thanks to the Oliver family too for supporting the legends for charity.
And as Tommy Oliver did with my thing, he one of the prizes, Steve, was like a family pass to to SeaWorld and all those parks down on the Gold Coast, because Tommy's a chef there at the parks at I think SeaWorld or whatever. And one of the prizes was a family pass to the fun parks down on the Gold Coast. And I forget who won it now, but that was just one of them. My cousin's on, guys. Jenny Ketter. G'day, Jenny. How are you? Or is that Phil? It could be me cousin Phil Ketter under Jenny's name. If it's Jenny or Phil, g'day. Hope you're well. Haven't heard from you for a while. Phil Ketter. Steve was, if you remember, he was officer in charge of the F-88 beer keg at the Mr. Buckaroony camp up at Hart.
Yeah.
That's Phil. That's me cousin. That's Ginny's wife. So, Phil and Jace, Army Jace, they took over the keg because they said people were coming up and trying to pour their own beer out of the keg, out of the temperite, and were bloody frothing it up and wasting a lot of beer. And Phil said, you can't have that. No. Charlie, he said, I'm going to take over the keg and I'm going to pour everyone's beers because there's too much wastage. And I'll tell you what, that F-88, Spinifex Brewery's F-88 on the keg was bloody beautiful. It was. Yeah, it was a nice beer. It's nice out of the can, but it was even nicer off the keg, mate, and everyone loved it.
And did you open the fridge up the other day when you were going home?
I did. I hadn't forgotten about that. I'll tell you what a great touch, guys. Before I get on, we talk about the camper trailer, which we'll do very shortly because I'm bloody jibber-jabbering too much. I picked the camper trailer up off Steve and Annie the other day, guys, and I said to Steve, I'll drop via because we're going to camp somewhere on the night home, and I said, I'll grab a 6-pack, and he said, there could be a 6-pack in the fridge. So I opened the fridge of the camper trailer up, guys, and here's a 6-pack of Last Man Standings. Stephen Bradbury's Last Man Standings, a 6-pack of them, and a bottle of 19 Crimes wine. So good touch, Steve. Thanks a lot for that, mate. That was a great touch, and it meant a lot to thing that you bloody threw a little 6-pack of not just 4X or whatever, Last Man Standings, and as we know, that's another nice beer, a lager beer, and it's owned by Stephen Bradbury, who was our first ever Olympic gold medal winner in the Winter Olympics when he won the ice skating thing. And did a live feed with him one night, and I haven't got it anymore, unfortunately. That was one of the best live feeds I've ever done, that one with Stephen Bradbury, and he actually held up his Winter Olympics gold medal and showed everyone on the Mr. Buckaroony live feed. That was pretty special, mate. I haven't had too many special moments like that taken place on my live feeds, and that was pretty special. That I was really chuffed after that interview I did with Stephen. I was very, very chuffed after that. I thought some diddly donk from Innisfail getting to do a live feed interview with a gold medal champion. And after that, he just got a bravery award as well, mate, for saving a couple of kids down on the Gold Coast, I think it was, who were going to bloody drown, Stephen ran in and saved him out of the surf. So he's an absolute bloody legend. Ginny Kedder saying g'day to the Gidgey. It's Phil. It's Phil Kedder. It's not Ginny. He's under Ginny's bloody thing on thing. Virginia Kedder. It's our cousin, our first cousin, Phil Kedder. Hope you're well, Phil. And Steve, why did you sell the camper? Because Mr. Buckaroony wanted to buy it. That's why he did. Righto, we'll address that, Steve. We'll get onto it. We'll get onto the guts of what I'm on about today. Why did you have your camper trailer? It's your fault, actually. If anyone's going to blame me, Buck, what are you doing? It's Fuller's fault, everyone. He was selling it, and I ended up buying it. Why are you selling, or why did you sell your camper trailer, Steve?
Well, we sold it. It was like you just said there before. Behind every great man is a woman, and old Annie, she sort of had been dropping pamphlets and putting up YouTube clips and showing all these campers on TV ever since you bought one. Yeah, and trying to give me the hint, and especially when Rob Richmond went out and bought one, and she walked inside it. And we've been camping like in camper trailers for a lot of years. Like we still got Dixie, the teardrop. Yeah, we're still using that at the moment. We can't get rid of that. We absolutely love it. And we bought the Dot trailer because we wanted to do a lot more off-road stuff. And we've had some great trips in it. The one that comes to mind was when we went to up to your camping event at Lake Tinaroo. And we all did that tag-along tour up through the Daintree and all up there through there. And it was absolutely fantastic. You know, I think we had about 5 or 6 dots all in a line there, cruising around up there, and it was absolutely fantastic. So we've had some good fun in it. But we just decided we've got it basically where we want it. And I didn't really want to sell it. It's not something that I wanted to get rid of. It was more a financial thing on our part because I couldn't afford to keep that and then buy a Caravan as well. So the reason we sold the Dot is so that we could afford to buy a Caravan, because I don't want to go into debt again. We own a house, we own our car. I sort of thought if I can sell the Dot and get a bit of capital to nearly pay for the Caravan, that's what we'll do. And it wasn't an easy decision. I would have loved to have kept it, because I figure if I would have probably preferred to sell the teardrop and keep the Dot and have the Dot in a Caravan. That way, if you wanted to do something real extreme off-road or go somewhere, I could take the Dot. But it really come down to more money than anything. That's why we sold it.
Saxon Overland, we're going to address that soon, mate. Wait till you see the video I've got. It's nothing worse than climbing down from a Dot on a rooftop, like any rooftop tent, for a piss. And if you've got a stuffed prostate like I have, you'll be down that ladder about 5 times.
Yeah, that was another reason too. Annie is over the last few years, she's suffering a little bit with arthritis in her hands and stuff. Yeah, and just with playing with the amount of boxes and stuff she opens in Woolies, we're blaming Woolies, but her actual fingers on one of her hands, all her fingers are starting to bend over on one hand, and she's having trouble climbing up and holding ladders and things like that. So funnel down the hose, get a scrunnel funnel, eh?
That's not such a bad idea.
Yeah, get old Newts to make up a scrunnel funnel.
Well, if Newts are on, we've got a scrunnel funnel for caravans. We've got a scrunnel funnel for unleaded petrol. We've got a scrunnel funnel for diesel. We now need, Newts, if you're watching, we need a scrunnel funnel for piss. That's it.
Yeah, Heewee.
Scrunnel funnel. Newts, get onto it, invent one, and I reckon it'll go off, mate. I reckon people will bloody 3-litre milk bottle. Geez, you want to be a good aim, wouldn't you? But you need to be a good shot, especially if you've had a few. Yeah. He's on. Newts is on. He said he's got it. He's got one. He's got a rooftop tent scrunnel funnel. I reckon it'll make you millions, Newts, if you can bloody put that one up, mate. A rooftop tent scrunnel funnel. Or Newts get sick of when people come along at the shows, and the first thing, everyone thinks they're a comedian. They go, "Oh, that looks like a shiwi," like the scrunnel funnel. And you can see Newt sit there going, biting his lip, clenching his fist, going, the next one who says that, I'm going to snot him. Because it does weird. I was there with Newts at the Townsville show when I was working with Jan at, not working, just helping Jan out at Shady Gear stand, and Newts was across the road, and the amount of people that come up to Newts and go, "What are these, mate? A shiwi?" It's like Newts just goes, "Fuck off, mate." You know, friggin' idiot. Yeah.
We'll definitely be getting one of his Caravan ones though for the water and that when we get it. I've got one of his fuel ones. They're fantastic.
Yeah, that's why we went a van instead of a thing. Yep, Nicky, and here you go. Our Caravan, as you know, we bought a Jawa SCKO. Now listen, that thing had good points and it had bad points. The good points, it was good to be able to just go in and watch TV, or in the afternoons, Roz would like to watch Tipping Point or whatever, turn the TV on. It was good to be able to get up at night and just have a piss in the toilet. The setup of that Caravan, just the basic setup, yeah, pretty easy. And we had the self-adjusting Boss 370 legs on it. The Caravan had a lot of good points, guys. But you know what? I didn't feel like I was camping in it, guys. It just, I don't know. Watching the fuel gauge, I was getting 16s, 17s, low 18s. If you're going up like around Cradle Mountain in Tassie, those little Chinese Caravans are heavy bloody things. They are very heavy. The Jawa SCKO, I'm talking about the Jawa SCKO now. The tow ball weight on that was bullshit. 320. I saw someone the other day's got a Jawa Infinity Escape, and his tow ball weight was 340 kilos. That is way over the 10%. And you speak to people and go, "Oh, no, it's 10%. Yeah, 10% when it's empty. What do you go camping and you don't put anything in it, so your tow ball weight doesn't get any more? Like, you've got to load your fridge up. And with the SCKO, the bed was at the front. The 2 9-kilo gas bottles were at the front. The storage bins were at the front. The bed was at the front. The storage under the bed was at the front. It was a front-heavy Caravan. And it was bloody, the tow ball weight on it was bullshit. I put one of those Repco scales under it, and it was like over 320 kilos, Steve. Too much, mate. Yeah. And guess what that did? Then it cost me, what did it cost me then? It cost me a lot of money to get a GVM upgrade because it threw my GVM over. And Snorky went through the same thing. Nicky, if you're on, did you and Jace have to get a GVM upgrade? And if you haven't weighed it, I suggest you do and work out your GVM, because when you put those Chinese or any Caravan, you put those Caravans and add your tow ball weight, adds onto your GVM, the weight of your the maximum weight your vehicle is allowed to be. So if your maximum GVM of your four-wheel drive is 3,200 kilos, which the BT50 was, then you throw your tow ball weight on, another 320 kilo. Guess what? If you've got a bull bar and a canopy and some drawers and blah, blah, blah in your four-wheel drive, your GVM is going to be over. Snorky got a 13-foot Oztrack, Steve, as you know. You've been out. Yeah. He had to get a GVM up on his Ford Ranger because Snorky's got his Ford Ranger decked out with all the gear. As soon as he put the tow ball weight on, over GVM because he got it weighed. He had to go and spend a lot of money on a GVM upgrade. And
yeah, well, I think they're around 2.8 ton or something, aren't they?
Yeah, that's maximum weight. So
yeah,
the ATM, the aggregate trailer mass, the maximum weight that the Jawa SCKO was allowed to be was 2,850 kilograms. So its tow ball weight should have been maximum 285. Well, it was 320 plus. So it was over 10%. They say it should be around. Yeah, well, there you go, Nicky. It's defeating the purpose. Why go out camping? What are you going to do if you ever do a long camping trip, and you go remote and you need both your water tanks to have a shower and to do your washing up and all that? You're not going to be, what if you do want to go away for a couple of weeks and you're not going to be in a caravan park? You run with half a water tank, or you fill both of them up and you run the gauntlet that you don't get put on the scales. So all these people that go, yeah, I'm under GVM because I run one water tank and I run one gas bottle only. And well, the Caravan came with 2 9-kilo gas bottles. Why would you? And then people were going, I'll take your 9-kilo gas bottles off and put 4 kilos on. So there you go. You've spent all the money to have a van with 9 kilos. Then you've got to go and get it modified to get 4. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to do that, mate. You should be able to buy a Caravan, hook it up to your vehicle, and you're good to go. You shouldn't have to go and friggin' spend all this money and make changes or run the Caravan not the way it was intended to run. The SCKO had 2 water tanks on it, and if I thought I was going remote, I used to fill them up, mate, so that we had the water there. So no use getting out bloody remote, and you go to have a shower, and Roz goes, "Oh, the shower's not working. Oh, sorry, love, I had to keep the water tanks empty because we're overworked." What a load of shit that is. That Jawa SCKO for the site for a 15-foot Caravan was too heavy. I spoke to guys that had 19'6" full-size JCOs at caravan parks, and they were lighter than what I was, Steve. Those little tiny Caravans are friggin' heavy. And I'll tell you now, and their tow ball weight is heavy. Another thing
we've done a lot of research in, like, as you know, we're buying a Caravan. I won't say what it is just yet, but we've done a lot of research because I can only tow up to like 2,200 kilos with the old FJ. And I can tell you it's going to be well under it.
Well, and that's good. It needs to be. The amount of people out there, and we've done a live feed on this, the amount of people out there running their Caravan, they're just way overloaded and do not give a shit, mate. They don't give a shit, and it won't be until they kill someone because they're grossly overloaded and they find themselves in a prison cell with Big Bubba, then they'll probably think, oh, maybe I should have done everything right. Well, guess what? I don't have to worry about GVM problems anymore, even though I've got a GVM upgrade to 3,500 kilos. Half my other problem too was my suspension was old and just shit on that BT50. I've had it ripped off now, and I've got a full Ironman suspension. It cost me $3,500, guys. I've got full Ironman suspension kit on the BT50 now, foam cell pros, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful setup. It really is. It cost me a lot of money. Mike Blakely's on over in the US. We've got a few bloody overseas guys. Not good news coming out of Maine the other day, Mike. Bloody another one, mate. Friggin' hell. And he just come out of a mental institution for 2 weeks and gets his hand on an AR-15 or whatever he had.
I don't know why they don't shoot themselves to start off with.
Well, he did kill himself. So I don't know how. He's dead anyway, which is where the bastard should be. But he took, well, I heard 18, and then on another channel it was 22 people. It was bloody horrible. Just another one. Oh, it just seems to be, you know, in amongst all we hear about Ukraine, and now we're hearing about Israel, but every so often it's just another mass shooting in the US, another one. And Mike, I know you got your Second Amendment and that, but us Aussies, mate, just sit there and shake our heads now in disbelief that this shit happens over there on a regular basis, mate, and that no one seems to want to do anything about it. But anyway, that's for another. Mike, I'd love to have you on one night on a live feed so we can talk about that shit, but this isn't the thing for it. Mike, if you want to come on a live feed one night, mate, because even though Australians and Americans were very close when it comes to camping and outdoor stuff, we all love that. But when it comes to guns, mate, we're on different ends of the spectrum. And I'm kind of glad I live in Australia sometimes when I hear that horrific bloody news coming out of the US, another mass shooting, 18 or 22, I'm not quite sure, and dozens injured because of some Fruit Loop that's just come out of a mental institution, gets his hands on a bloody semi-automatic rifle and goes to town in a bowling alley, like where kids and, what? Humans. You just
say g'day to old Keith Keff's on there.
Yeah, another bloody Safa who's on there bragging this morning. The Springboks got up over the All Blacks in the Rugby World Cup final this morning, 12-11, close game. And the Springboks couldn't even score a try, Keithy. Don't deserve it, mate. You don't deserve to win a bloody game if you don't score a try. That's why I hate rugby. Give me rugby league any day. Bloody Mike Blakely saying go to Jack Turtle. I forget where we were now. What's another thing I didn't like about? Listen, that Jawa SCKO had a lot of good points, guys. But you know what? It felt like for the 12 months I had it, I was just putting warranty claim in after warranty claim after warranty claim after warranty claim. And some of it was just little pissy shit, like a leak in the window, and then you get a caravan guy out and he goes, pull that inside, he pulls the inside of the window off, and you can see daylight where they've put the window in because they didn't put any silicone in there. He goes, there's your problem, mate. That's why your window's leaking, because we had some torrential rainfall for the first month or so on our trip, mate. When we left North Queensland, we were in torrential rain for weeks and couldn't get out of it. And luckily the roof held up on that caravan, but the windows were leaking. Ross is going, I've got a bloody leak coming through the window on my side of the bed. Next thing we've got frigging towels down there, and it just did my head in. And then the fridge cut out, and then we had to go out of our way to find an auto elec who could fix it because the circuit breaker. And he goes, mate, shit quality circuit breakers. He put a Nava one in, I think, for the fridge. Never had a problem with it ever again since. Then the fridge lids warped, and we had to get them replaced because the fridge lids wouldn't shut. What else happened, Roz? There was lots of the outdoor shower didn't work, things like that. Then we had another leak from another window because they didn't silicone behind the awning properly. And I got up there with a caulking gun and I managed to stop that leak because they didn't do the silicone work right because I had water coming through another window. There's a few other things. And then, when I went to sell it, Steve, I made my mind up to sell it. It failed the roadworthy. Less than 12 months old, it failed the roadworthy because the brakes weren't working. So Kenny Hop pulls the hubs off. Both the hubs are all scrubbed out on the inside. And then Jawa tries to tell me, oh, you didn't get the brakes adjusted correctly on the first service. Really? And they wipe their hands of it. And then you go on the Jawa site, and there's a heap of other caravans, Siroccos, where the hubs have scrubbed out because of the shit quality components, the hubs made in China. And they were just scrubbing out on the inside, and the brakes weren't working. And Jar was trying to tell me it was because I didn't get the brakes adjusted properly. Bullshit. I got the service done. The bloke who did the service is a mechanic for 40 years. He knows what he's doing. I was watching him adjust everything and did a good job. It wasn't just my caravan. It happened on numerous Siroccos. The brake hub's scrubbing out. So instead of saying, listen, guys, and guess what? It looks like they were changing over to a different hub assembly because of the amount of problems I have. But when it come to a warranty claim, didn't want to know about it. And that's what pisses me off with any company. They're like anyone. Their after-sale service was great until they can find a little out to get out of their warranty, and they would do it. Same as the awning. We're in Geelong one day. Those pissy little awnings that come on these hybrid caravans, they're as weak as piss. Roz is winding. The awning's not coming out. What are you doing, Roz? I'm winding and nothing's happening. So plastic mechanism inside the winder has snapped. And it's about to start pissing down rain. We needed some shelter. So I look at the end and go, oh, there's 3 screws there. I wonder if I can take that off and look at and maybe do something with the winder so that we can wind the awning out. I took the 3 screws off, removed the end cap. Well, she went like a jack-in-the-box, mate. The awning sprung out, wind kicked up, bent the arms. It was rooted. I'd unbolted it, and we did about 2 or 3 weeks on that trip with no awning on. We ended up, went to Jawa, and they basically, again, you stuff with it, mate. We don't want to know about it. Didn't want to know about it. So I had to put an insurance claim in, and we got a Fiamma awning. So it still cost us $600 excess, I might add. We didn't get it for nothing. So we had to cough up $600. Then we put a Fiamma wind-out awning on. And the awning that was on there, the anti-flap kits that come with it. Because those awning, you'll see this, I don't know if your new Caravan's got one of these little wind-out awnings with the flimsy little legs. Soon as the wind picks up, you've got to put them away, mate. They cannot handle, there was times there where me and Roz just had to put our awning away, and the big Aussie Caravans with the big heavy-duty awnings, they just sat there, like when we were at Malakuta, didn't even worry about the wind at night. But as soon as it got over 10 knots, we were winding our awning in. It just couldn't handle the wind, mate. And don't know if Snorky wants me to say this, but Snorky lost his awning, mate, because 2 pissy little flimsy legs on these wind-out awnings, which is like on yours, Nicky and Jace, the same awning that's on your Caravan. Snorky got a down gust of wind, and guess what happened to the legs? They just folded. Now, Snorky hasn't got an awning anymore because they're piss weak, mate. Absolutely piss weak. Then they've got the Fiamma awning on there. Well, that thing flapped more than the old Chinese bloody awning did. And it still had the flimsy legs on it. And then they go, oh, to stop it flap, put the anti-flap kits on. So then that's a pain in the ass, trying to get your anti-flap kits on the end. And then it adds to your setup time. So there was a lot of things about that Caravan that used to piss me off. I had no confidence in it, Steve. No. I just thought, I haven't had it off-road yet. I'm just driving around on highways and all that, and shit's not working on it. What happens when I get up to Cape York? What's going to rattle off it? What's going to fall off it? If I didn't sell that, I'd probably still be driving around on one brake, because I probably would. Oh, no, it's only just over 12 months old. The brakes will be fine. Well, they weren't. They scrubbed out within 12 months. It was a piece of shit. It had some good points, but the Caravan, Steve, it really did. And there was some things in there that were good, good stories. The toilet, it had an air con. There was a lot of positives for having that Caravan, but there was a lot of negatives as well. And one of them was tow ball weight. I had no confidence in the awning. You always, at night, you hear the wind pick up and, oh, shit, do I have to go out and wind the awning in? It was doing my head in, mate. It was doing my head in. And when I got home, I just said to Roz, I'm getting rid of this piece of shit. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not enjoying it. And there were some things that were good about it, and there were some things that were shit about it. And the shit things, to me, outweighed the good things about it, and we sold it. And hopefully the new owners are having a great time in it. They wanted the Sirocco, and, we threw in Starlink and all that shit with it, mate. And we went back and I said to Roz, you know what? I enjoyed camping trips in our old bloody dot trailer. I enjoyed camping when I used to go out in the dot trailer. And you put yours up for sale, and you had a very good price on it, I reckon, because I know you wanted to get rid of it. You're getting close to where you needed to sell it to get the Caravan, which can't be too far away. And, I was sitting there one day and I thought, I can access my super now. I'm going to buy it. And it cost me a little bit extra in tax to dip into my super. And I thought, I'm going to grab it. And I'm glad I did, Steve, because driving home the other night, mate, I was bloody, every time I pull up for a rest, it looks good behind the BT50. It really does.
When you told me
trailer,
that.
And you've looked up.
Yeah, when you told me that the other day. I'll tell you what, I was never so worried the night you left here, because Buck left here about 4:30 in the afternoon, and he said, oh, we're going to drive back to the coast over through Kilkeven and all that, and maybe stop at Hengaroa or something like that. And when they left, I thought, bloody hell, he's going to be pushing it to get there by the time that a reasonable hour. And anyway, I woke up about 12:30 at night, and I heard this clap of thunder, and I looked at the radar, and all I could see was all this black sky and red sky over around where Hengaroa was. And I was thinking, shit, I hope they're safe there tonight. But how did it go, Buck?
It didn't go well, mate. Well, no, it did. I should say that. We're in the Crazy Dog canvas rooftop tent, and it bucketed down, Steve. It started thundering and lightning. We went to the Kilkeven Hotel for a countery, come home, and it started. I thought, oh, Jesus, here we go. Got into the rooftop tent at 8 o'clock, and then the thunder started, the lightning started. Rafa was shitting himself. He, like a little dog, doesn't like loud noises. He was petrified. And we got belted by a storm, and it felt like it was just going on and off. It felt like 3 or 4 storms came through. We got belted from 8 p.m. to about 2 a.m. And at times, the rain was heavy. Like some bloke said, oh, we had an inch of rain last night in that downpour, and it was heavy rain. And I'll tell you now, Crazy Dog's rooftop tent, mate, because I had the light up, and I thought, if this rooftop tent is leaking, Fuller, I'm going to come back and kill you. And it was good, mate. Not a skerrick of water inside that rooftop tent. So we first night in it, we tested it through a thunderstorm, and it stood fast, mate. It was bloody. It wasn't overly windy, I must admit. The wind wasn't too bad. It was a little bit windy. There was no buffering of the canvas or anything like that. Bad lightning, bad thunder, and at times it belted down. And I mean belted down. It was like you couldn't sleep because of the rain hitting the canvas that hard. But it stood up there, mate, and it was a good test, and it's given me a lot of confidence in that rooftop tent now. And Crazy builds he makes a good product, mate. As we know, Jason does a fantastic product. It's a Shame he's not doing his rooftop tents anymore. But as he said, cost got out of control on him, and he thought, I'm going to start charging $8,000 to make a profit on a rooftop tent. Who's going to pay that? And that's just what it's come to in Australia now, unfortunately. But
I see.
Yeah, we got Weldon,
Keith's on there. He's got exactly the same rooftop tent as well.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah, Keithy, they're a good tent, mate, aren't they? Yeah. Now, a lot of people are going, Buck, I'll tell you one thing I love about the Dot, mate. It towed beautifully. It hasn't got the leaf suspension, Steve, like my first Dot did. It's got the Cruise Master independent suspension. And guys, if you're out there watching, you're thinking, oh, Buck's plugging Luke a bit. Me and Luke don't talk anymore, but I've got to credit where credit's due. That guy, he's got a amazing brain on him, Steve. You know Luke well too, mate. He's just always thinking. And some of the ideas he's come up with for those Dot trailers was incredible. And one thing I do like is everything on that trailer, probably except for the tyres, is Australian. He's got all Cruise Master suspension, like Cruise Master's Aussie stuff. The rooftop tent, Crazy Dog, it's all fully Australian made. All the canopy and the tool bins and everything on his trailers are bloody Diamond T, which are made there in Brisbane, I think.
Yeah.
The trailer, the chassis and all that stuff is made down there was made down there in Gloucester. The electrical system in the Dot 261 is all Red Arc, which is an Australian company. So there's not, the kitchen is a drifter kitchen that slides out the back. And I've always said I love those drifter kitchens. They're bloody really good. The fridge in it's an Evercool, which is Australia, the fiberglass one, which is Australian made. So there's not a lot on that trailer that's not Aussie made. And that's another thing that didn't sit well with me, guys, is I knew when I made the decision to go with that Jawa SCKO, that was purely a financial decision, because the Aussie equivalent of that was like 2.5 times the price, and I didn't have the money for it, mate. Like the Australian made ones were just too much money. And but I love they had a slide out kitchen, slide out fridge. All that was fantastic about that Caravan. But the Dot trailers, mate, absolutely fantastic. We've got a better awning on there now. I know the awning, the Super Peg awning on Dot 129, our first camper trailer. It was a two-person setup and two-person pack away. It was a pain in the bum. You've got the outbound 6-1 now, which is a freestanding, and it's got good. You just walk it around, mate. It takes a minute to set up and a minute to pull down. So if it does get a bit windy, Roz, let's go. Bang, in, go. It's easier to pack down than those taking the anti-flap kits off the Caravan, sliding out your shady gear walls, taking the anti-flap kits down, and then taking the pegs out, winding it in. By the time you did that, Roz and I nearly lost that awning 3 times in high winds on our trip down south, down to Tasmania. And there was times there where the only thing that saved it was Roz and I's body weight holding it down, mate. And I'm not going to miss that about that bloody Caravan. Those flimsy, piss-ass bloody wind-out awnings, they're shit as far as... If anyone said they are garbage. But anyway, we've got the outbound 6 Super Peg awning, a freestanding awning, and we've got poles to go with it, which you've left in there, mate. We've got bloody... You can put a strap down so the water doesn't pool in there. It's a fantastic awning. It looks good. It's got good coverage. You've got all the lightweight wall kits to go with it, and I'll probably get a couple of shady gear walls as well, which can Velcro on. So you've got all the wall kits on that awning. So if any rain blows in sideways to the kitchen, we can put a quick wall up, peg it out, and keep the water off the kitchen.
Yeah.
The rooftop tent itself, mate. Crazy Dog's rooftop tent. It's bloody good. People will see it here. I've got a little video of it, guys. You've got the full room, the room annex, so you can enclose underneath the rooftop tent and turn that into a privacy room where we could maybe put our toilet, or, you know what I mean? Or Roz can... Yeah. One of Roz's big things was she hates coming out of a rooftop tent in the morning and her hair's everywhere, and she hasn't, like she just likes to, like most ladies, mate, they like to freshen up and that before they come out, instead of coming out of a rooftop tent and everyone's like looking at you going, oh, bloody, at least now she can come down and bloody, freshen up in the privacy ensuite and everything, which you'll see. I've got one of your videos, Steve, so people get an idea of what it looks like. Yeah, mate, there's a lot of things about that Dot. Good suspension. It's got an airbag suspension, so if the trailer's on a lean, you can go and bloody level it up by the flick of a switch. It's a top-notch trailer, mate, and you've looked after it. You really have, and you've got a lot of extra gear on there too. Someone said there, will you do walk-around videos? Well, I don't know. Steve's got bloody walk-around videos on his channel of the exact camper trailer. I don't know if I need to duplicate that or not. Maybe I will. See, then I'm going back into filming me camping trips and that type of stuff. I don't know. I'll see how I go, Brendan. Maybe I will, mate. But if you do want to see it now, go on to Soar Adventures and you'll see Steve's done some bloody in-depth walk-arounds of the rooftop tent and the camper trailer and all that type of stuff.
Saxon Overland just put up a good comment, and that's probably why they stopped building the Dot trailers, is because they were getting up around 50K.
Yeah.
And you just can't talk people into spending 50K on a camper trailer when you can go out and buy a Caravan for not much more or around the same price.
And that's what Luke said. Luke said it's getting too much to manufacture these things, you know, the cost of steel, the cost of everything, you know. So, and it's right. I wouldn't pay 50 grand for that camper trailer. No way in the world. I wouldn't pay it. That's why I got a second-hand one, a good second-hand one. I know it's been looked after. That camper trailer, it's out in the shed at the moment saying I've been bloody owned by 3 of the biggest diddly donks that are possibly. It used to be Tofty Toff's camper trailer. Tofty didn't have it long, and then you bought it off him, Steve.
Yeah. What happened was we went down to Gloucester and we actually looked at one of the Dot trailers and we made our mind up that we were going to buy one. And we come back to Brisbane. I rung Tofty up and I had a bit. We were still when he was working at the Brendale store, and I had a yarn to him and said, "Oh, we're thinking about getting a trailer." And he says, "Oh, okay. I'll get on to HQ and get a price for you." Anyway, 2 days later, he rings me back and he says, "Oh, we've got the my trailer where Luke's building me a new one." He said, "Do you want to buy that?" He said, "I'll give it to you at a good price." So that's how that come about, and I ended up buying Tofty's original walk-up hardtop.
Well, and I know, and I'm glad that rooftop tent's not still on that camper trailer. Gidgey's having a go at my hairdo. Well, I've got a bit there. It's back a long way, but there's still something on there. There's not a lot on there, but it's there.
Yeah, I haven't dyed mine this week, so.
Yeah, there's a reason me and Fuller keep our hats on, guys. Thank you, little brother, for that compliment. That's just wonderful. Greggy Campbell said, yeah, I tend to agree without going into a bloody bash and drifter here, guys. He got the E-Dot when Luke brought the E-Dot out. I just don't know if he's going down the right path with that E-Dot, but certainly the Dot trailer I've got off you, Steve, I know me and Roz are going to love it. Now, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Everyone's going to go, Buck, you and Roz, well, I'm still on the right side of 60, only just. Roz is on the other side of 60, guys. She'll probably, I'm waiting for the door to fly open now. And you've gone back to a rooftop tent. Yes. Now, I was lying in that rooftop tent the other night, and it's got a lot of room in there, Steve. It's a very keepy server. It's a good, roomy rooftop tent, mate. I don't get claustrophobic in it, which is good. We can still use it as a walk-up hardtop. We can still walk up the front of the trailer and go in one of the windows, or we can use the ladder. So we do have both options, guys. You can use it as a walk-up hardtop. Not as easy to get into, Steve, as my first camper trailer with the front clamshell thing.
No.
It's not as easy to get in as that one, mate. The ladder, I looked at that ladder when I needed to get down for a piss, and I thought, nah, not keen. Not keen on that. I only need to slip. And I'm not as nimble. Like, I've got to stuff back, guys. I can lie in it. Don't get me wrong. I can still climb up and down a ladder. What I struggle with, and it's like me getting up on the roof to gurney the roof of the house and getting up and down the ladder. I can climb up the ladder. I can climb down the ladder. No worries at all, Steve. It's getting from the roof onto the ladder because my back's so stiff and tight. I've lost my flexibility, mate. And that's where, if I'm going to come unstuck down that rooftop tent ladder, I'm going to miss one of the rungs. You've put aluminium checker plate on the rungs to make it even better, which is fantastic. But there's still a chance at night that you can miss the rung and break your leg, have a horrible fall down there. I've already had a horrible fall off the front of that Caravan when I was putting Starlink up, guys. And let me tell you, I've got 2 injuries from that fall that still have not healed. My left ankle still rat shit, and my left shoulder is still rat shit. I tore a ligament or something in my shoulder. Still has not come good. I still can't go to the gym and do flat bench press because I've done something to the ligament in there. It's just bloody. And when did I do that? February. And my left ankle, I still can't run on it properly. It's bullshit. So I've been doing some research, guys, and iCamper have got an item, Steve, that I think is going to Jared Hands on. Luckily, Jared wasn't on earlier, guys. He would have been throwing shit at his computer because I was telling everyone what I didn't like about the SCKO, Jared. There were some things I liked about it, and there was some shit I didn't like about it. And me and Jared have had some, I wouldn't say heated discussions, but some discussions where we're on different ends of whatever. Jared loves his SCKO. Mine left me with a bad taste in my mouth, Jared, and that's why I've gone back to a Aussie-made camper trailer, mate. I think I'm going to enjoy my camping trips a lot better with it. And let me tell you, towing that thing home the other day from Kingaroy, almost it was a 2,906 kilometre round trip, Steve, to come down and grab that trailer. And I'll tell you now, that bloody camper trailer tastes so much better than the SCKO, especially going uphill. The tow ball weight, all that type of stuff. It's just bloody. I don't have to worry about GVM problems and all that shit. So, but anyway, horses for courses. Some people go to a hybrid Caravan because they want the privacy, they want the toilet, and all that type of stuff. I just didn't have confidence in that trailer and the bloody oil. And not just this isn't a Jawa problem. This is a widespread problem to all those hybrid Caravans and that. The flimsy awnings off them. Jared, if you don't know, Snorky owns an Austrac, mate. They got the same Chinese awning, and he lost his the other day. The downdraft hit, and the 2 legs just folded like paddle pop sticks, mate. And I've said all along, this awning is a flimsy piece of shit, and it did not make the trip. And even the Fiamma awning, which was easy to wind out, and the anti-flat kits were better and all that on it, it still didn't like the wind, mate. All those wind-out awnings are shit in the wind. I don't care what anyone says. So I'm going to show you something that I found that iCamper make. It's not in Australia at the moment. I've sent this to Crazy Dog, guys, and I said to Jason, you want to make an item that will go off, have a look at this. And I think this is not just, this is for any person who has a ladder for a rooftop tent. Check this item out. I think it is brilliant. And if I can't get one through iCamper, I'm going to go to my local canvas place just down the road here, guys. It's Coles Vinyl and Canvas. They make awnings and all that type of stuff. They don't do camping gear, but they can do. I'm going to take my rooftop tent ladder down. I'm going to get them to make me one. Check this out. Let me know if you've seen it or not before. Share me screen. Share the screen. Righto, let's watch this. Let me know if you've seen this before, Steve. Can you see that on your screen?
Yeah, no, I've never seen it.
Turns your ladder into stairs. So it velcros and straps onto the rungs of your ladder. It's out of like a heavy-duty corduroy canvas or whatever.
Good idea, isn't it?
And it's so that your foot can't slip through the rungs of the ladder. So you walk up it like a set of stairs, mate. Now that's got to be a lot safer than going through rung. Look at that. That's called the iCamper HC ladder.
When you
get rid of that. I'll go back to this one. We're back. Have you seen that before, Steve? You haven't?
No, that looks great.
I know, and it's about $200 through iCamper, and it straps onto your ladder. And what you can do, you don't have to take it off when you fold your ladder down. You just push them out, and your ladder will still fold down. And when you bring your ladder up, you just pop them through And there's another video on YouTube where a bloke's dog runs up into the rooftop tent. Might have to train Rafa to do that. But basically, it's so when you get down, there's no way, if that's the rung, there's no way your foot can slip off the rung, your leg goes, and next thing you're dangling by your leg, you break your leg. There's no way your foot can slip through the rungs of the thing. A lot safer. And I tell you now, iCamper haven't got them in Australia at the moment. I can't find anywhere that's got them in Australia. Crazy Dog, if you are watching this, get onto it, mate. I reckon there's a market for them in this country. Everyone who's got a rooftop tent, I reckon, would buy that item.
Jack just said it would be slippery if it rains, but the thing with the rooftop tent on your one, it's actually got a big awning that comes out over where the ladder goes, and if you've got the room on there, it's not going to get wet anyway. Yeah,
and you'll see that, Jack. I've got another video in a minute of Crazy Dog's rooftop tent where the ladder goes, mate. It's fully undercover. But even it's still going to be safer. Even if it did get wet, it's going to be safer. And then other people go, when you fold it up and then put it in your rooftop tent, all the dirt's going to be in there. Well, you poke the canvas through and all the dirt will fly off before you do it. So they didn't think of that. But it's also got, you probably didn't see it there, a reflective strip sewn in, that iCamper thing. So at night you look down and you can see the reflective strips and you can see where the stairs are. So it's also got a reflective strip there. Jack, maybe you could, if Jason made them, he could put some sort of sew a grip strip or something on each one. That's another option. I mean, you're only limited by your imagination, mate. You could but it certainly wouldn't be slipperier than the rung of the ladder itself.
No,
and there's no way your foot can slip through. So even if, I don't know, I just think it's a bloody no. But that product sold in South Africa, Keith. Yeah, I know, Keith. They're sold in England and they're sold in America, and I can't find. You go into iCamper Australia and they're out of stock, and they got no idea if they're ever going to get them. So I'm going to get onto iCamper tomorrow and say, what's the go? And if not, I'm going to go to my local canvas place down the road, show them that video and see if they can make me one for my ladder and get a custom made job. Because I think that $200, Lorna, exactly right. I think $200, I'd pay $200 tomorrow for that item, Steve, to whack on the ladder.
Oh, I would have too.
Oh, I just think it's bloody, you can buy rubber that looks like checker plate, Jack, and it's non-slip. Just put a bit on the right. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of things you can do to make the ladder, but even if I don't know if it's a canvas, it's like a very thick canvas, but it's better than a slippery bloody ladder rung. And you've made the rungs even better by putting square checker plate over them, Steve. So,
I know bloody Patriot campers. They designed a ladder for their trailer that actually turned sideways and the runs were flat. So that you actually climbed up like you're walking up a set of stairs. Yeah, I often thought about seeing them and asking them whether they could design a ladder that would do the same thing on that sort of trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I honestly think, as I said, we've got the option to go out the front, use it as a walk-up hardtop and go through the side window, which you got made bigger, so we could still do that. I'm going to present another one. This is one of your videos. So people out there are probably going, Buck, what are you on about? This is now my trailer, our trailer, mine and Roz's trailer. This is when Steve and Annie owned it, and we now own it. As I said, it's been owned by three of the biggest diddly donks on YouTube. Tofty Top, Steve Fuller, and now Buck Rogers have all owned this camper trailer. And it's good to know that I know I'm good mates with the two blokes who owned it before me, Steve. And I know you and Annie have, and I've had a lot of comments. And they said, Buck, at least you know it's been looked after. And I know you and Annie, bloody, you used it a lot, mate, but you looked after that camper trailer and you've got a lot of extra shit on it. And that's what made it such an appealing buy for the price that you sold it for, mate. I think it was a very good buy. And you dropped the bloody price on it, I think, because you wanted to sell it. And when I saw the price go down, that's when I went, geez, that's a good buy, Steve Fuller's camper trailer. And at this stage, I hadn't even made my mind up that I wanted to go into a camper trailer. And then I saw the price that you put on. I thought, geez, that's a good buy because I knew you had a lot. Then I went and watched all your videos, which this is one of them coming up now. And I thought, that's when the light bell went off in my head. And I said, Fuller, hang out. I got to get onto me, what do they call me superannuation mob because I'm not working anymore, guys. I can tap into me super. They charge you interest to get it out, the arseholes. But I thought, nah, this is too good to bloody let go. So anyway, here's a bit of a look at our new trailer. If you want, guys, if you want me to do walk-arounds and whatever, let me know. I will. It's not something I'm bloody, not going to go out and start recording all my camping trips and that again. But if you want to see, if you want to watch the camper trailer, Steve and Annie have done it. Yeah. All right, see you, Roz. Roz is off to see her mum. See you, Rozzy. Is Jamil going with you? Okay. Right, Rafa's in here. Rafa said, g'day, everyone. Mum's going over to see her mum. Going over to see Gummer. Nicky Slay, you mean Buck's legs? No, there's a conversation going on there. Sorry, what was I talking about there, Steve? Oh, I'm going to show you the bloody
video.
If you want me to do walk-around videos, guys, something I could probably do, but it'll only be in my backyard and that. I got no intentions to go on camping for a while yet, starting to warm up here. But what I am going to do in the meantime is bloody get the trailer set up the way Roz and I want it. We're going to tinker with it. I'm already starting to bloody get patches and stickers and all that type of stuff on it and make it my own. And, okay. Need to look at retrofitting those shonky legs, I think. Nicky, you talking about the legs on your flimsy bloody wind-out awnings. What you need to do, mate, is get an extendable pole from, I don't know, who's got them? Steve Drifter got them. Super Pegger got them. What you do is near the two flimsy legs, Nicky, you drill a hole up, okay? And then you put the extra leg, and that way if you do get a big downdraft and that's what we did with our Fiamma awning. I put extra extendable poles in there, Nicky, so if I did get a big downdraft of wind, those legs aren't up to it. I saw them almost collapse on mine one day when we were at Merimbula or something down in New South Wales, big wind gust. I said to Roz, we're going to lose this awning, and we only just bloody got it in time. That was one of the 3 times we nearly lost it, and then we did lose it eventually in Geelong. But Snorky's lost his. Big gust of wind hit from the top, and his legs they should be booked for vagrancy, Steve, those legs. They're no means of support, mate.
Mike Blakely just said they got their experience in their first snowstorm.
Over there in Colorado, experiencing the first snowfall of the season. Mike, I really want to give us a thumbs up, guys, if you want to see me do a live feed with Mike Blakely still got to do another one with Slacken. Slacken, you've been slack. Let me know when you're ready to go. And Mike Blakely, love to do one with you from Colorado, mate. And experience it. Yeah, so first snowfall over in the US, and she's starting to warm up here. We're down in Kingaroy the other day, Steve. You said it was 30-something down there the other day.
Yeah, just that afternoon you left too, Buck. The fires around town here, they actually had to evacuate a few people from their homes, and there was a big fire at the back of Geelong. Our cleaners actually couldn't turn up to work because they got evacuated out.
Jeez. Yeah, it's bad. We've already lost a couple of people from fires this year, guys, out around Tara, which is out Roma way there. Williambilla, where the 2 police officers were shot there 18 months ago. Williambilla was all evacuated. We only had a big live feed a few weeks ago, Steve, with bloody Justin Dillon and Brad Howell and Jay Slade about bushfire season. Well, she's here already, mate. It's not even summer yet.
No.
And we saw bushfires all the way up until we got to pretty well Mackay. And it was dry as buggery, Steve, down there. I must admit, I got home to Innisfail, and it was good to see green, like being real green again, because it rained here last night. But even Tyro, mate, they needed that inch of rain in the storm the other night because it was dry there. It was dry all the way up to Mackay. And then from Bowen to Townsville was very dry. Townsville's usually very dry. And then you get 40 minutes north of Townsville to Rolling Stone. And then it starts going tropical again, and the mountains start appearing, and you start seeing sugar cane and she's all green again. But yeah, it's going to be
Terry
a long,
G's just taken off too.
He's off, is he, Terry? Okay,
He's probably going for a nap.
He's going into the caravan for a nana nap. He said, Bucks jibber jabbering too much. Yeah, Terry, talk soon, mate. But anyway, I'm going to show you this bloody video that I was going to show you half an hour ago. Share me screen. This gives you a bit of an idea. If you haven't seen the camper trailer, gives you a bit of an idea. And Jack, if you're watching, you'll see where the ladder is, mate. It's all undercover because of Crazy Dog's rooftop tent, mate. Here we go. Watch 5 minutes of this, everyone. So that's the trailer there. You can see that all right, Steve?
Yep.
With Crazy Dogs. So what you can see there, it's a side folding trailer. Hey, Zebby's going, give me some snacks, Uncle Paul. So the ladder goes underneath there. So you can see you climb up into the ring, but you can also go up the front of the trailer like the normal original walk-up hardtop. We can still walk up the front of the camper trailer and go in the side window, which Steve got made a lot bigger than this end window here, Jack. The one on the other end is a lot bigger. You can unzip it and you can climb in like a normal walk-up hardtop. So we don't have to use the ladder, everyone, to get in our rooftop tent. But I am going to try and get that that KC bloody thing for the ladder from iCamper, and if I can't get one off iCamper, I'm going to get one specifically made for it. And Crazy Dog, if you're watching, I think you'd be mad not to bloody get in on them. I think they're a good thing. Who's that?
I think this was Winnie's first camping trip too.
Nice shirt, Annie. So you can see there, I'll pause it there. What's Annie doing there? Filling the billy up, is she, out of the tap?
Yeah, it must be filling the water thing up for Winnie.
Yeah. So what you did there, Steve, is you got that end window made a lot bigger by Jason. And basically, there's the plastic stools on the front there, guys. There's two of them. You put one down there. So you go plastic stool onto a platform, plastic stool onto the toolbox, and then onto a step, which is on top of the toolbox. And then if you need a little bit more height, you can fold that black bit over and it makes it even higher. But I don't think we'll need that, Steve. Ross said, she said, I'll be able to get in there. So up, onto there and unzip the side window, which you got made a lot bigger, and into a beautiful, spacious rooftop tent. And it is quite spacious in there. Big queen-size mattress, very high. You can just about stand up in there. Roz could get changed in there if she needed to, guys. And the ladder, I'll go back a little bit. There you go. Well, you can see there, Steve. You can see you on there now. There's the ladder going up into the... So as you can see, Jack, the ladder is undercover, mate. And it was pissing down rain the other night. And I was looking out this window here, one of the windows, and it was all dry underneath there where you're standing. And you can fully enclose this part, Steve.
Yeah. The room totally closes that off, and it's really good. We found it good when we were camping in winter or real rainy weather. You can just set it up and
no, it's good.
I think that's pretty good for a rooftop tent like this, and there's plenty of room in it. So we'll go for a walk around now, and we'll show you all about it and show you some of the features of the rooftop tent.
You know, Steve's left on all the dirty gear bags. There's a dirty gear bag at the front, guys. He's got the full enclosed room. He's got a bat wing that can come off there. I can Velcro up shady gear walls there and turn that into a little sitting area as well. And to think there's enough room for two people to sit under there, Steve, but you've still got a 270-degree freestanding awning on the other side of the camper trailer.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Do you shop with a Coles app like Lauren?
Hang on.
She creates lists to stick to a budget.
Bloody ads.
To find products in store. How exciting, Lauren. Great value.
Bloody Coles ad too. Where's the Woolies at?
Yeah, there's the opposition.
What if true luxury was about...
Oh, that's a good-looking car.
The first ever hybrid Mazda CX-90.
Yeah, hybrid.
In perfect balance.
They make a good vehicle, Mazda. They really do.
put up another ad now if you fast forward.
So you've seasoned all that. That canvas there, guys, the other night in Tyro, we got heavy rain. That's all Australian canvas made by Crazy Dog there. And you can see he's got 3 tie-down points there. So you can put a ratchet strap down to a tent, which I did. I put one ratchet strap on the other night in case the wind picked up. But it's just good to have that little bit of cover there. And that's where the ladder would be, is under that cover, Jack. So your ladder's going to be dry anyway, mate.
It literally only takes 30 seconds or so to put that rooftop tent up.
It's very easy.
Hey guys, well, welcome back. Well, I thought I'll just take you a bit of a walk around my rooftop tent now and just show you all that and show you why.
Well, watch you get up in the thing, and people can hopefully see inside there. There's a lot of room. That toolbox on the front, Steve, the storage of this camper trailer, unbelievable, mate, the amount of storage there. This has got more storage than what the Caravan had, I think. Like that front toolbox, got a bloody 128 Enerdrive lithium battery in there, which works fantastically. Charges up. You've got 2 solar inputs there when you're driving. I got up the other morning in Tyro, Steve. We stopped at about, I don't know, just going on dark. I got up the next morning. The battery was still on 89%. It was only running a couple of lights in the fridge overnight. It was still on 89% the next morning, mate. So if you're driving, very good, mate. The Enerdrive do a good battery.
I've chosen this rooftop tent. Like I said, got it off Crazy Dog Canvas.
He's a bit out there, Jace, isn't he, with his colours and his colour combos and all that. That shirt, that looks like someone vomited on it. Dead set.
And
I don't wear it much. He gave it to me. He said, "Hey, wear one of his shirts."
We've gone away.
Yeah, he was giving them away for free because no one would buy them off him.
Camping a couple of times with it now. And I put a few photos up on some of the social media and Facebook, and I released the other video when I was down at Jason's shop. I had a few questions and queries about why I went with this rooftop tent and why I chose the colour. Can I still use the walk-up hardtop? All those sort of questions. So I thought I'll just answer all those today. The reason why we went with this tent, mainly because as we get a bit older, we wanted something a little bit bigger, something that gave us a bit more options. I'll put a photo up of the wall kit on the screen here or the little room. I shouldn't say a wall kit, it's actually a room.
So that's a room that came with it, Steve. Jason made up for you, and it zips on underneath there, and you got a fully enclosed room.
And you can see on the photo there the actual front zip up wall, like it's got full midgie mesh in it, so you can pull that out like an awning as well.
Yeah,
off that
so
room, so keeps it nice and cool in there.
So if you've got that room set up on a long-term camp, I wouldn't put that up for a couple of nights or whatever. But if you're there for a week, set the room up. Take the time to zip the room onto around there, set it up, and that way it's fully enclosed. You can keep the midgie on your rooftop tent. You can wind that up, and you don't have to have on the ends you do, but the ones underneath there, you don't have to have them up because your room's fully enclosed. It's bloody, yeah.
It's an add-on room that you can add on to this pull-out extension. Goes up really easy. I'm going to do a separate video on that, so stay tuned for that one and I'll show you it. Jason didn't quite have it made when we picked this up just on New Year's Day, I think it was. Then he went away for a bit of rest and relaxation so he could get back into the new year.
Holiday.
But
he's on holidays
now. Where I am right now, we've actually used it, but we're just packing up, and I thought I'll show you the rooftop tent before we go. But that's the main reason why we went with this. It's given us a lot more room. It's given us this little area out here. So if we are setting up in a little bit of rain, which never happens when we go camping much, I think Brad Hooker and us have just about the same luck with camping. Touch wood, this weekend we haven't had any rain. It looked like it the other day, but it didn't come in, so it was really good. But just having this little pull-out room here or awning that the room goes on is fantastic. We didn't have it with...
I'm thinking, Steve, even just getting another... Well, I've got a 3-metre shady gear wall, which I'll be able to just Velcro under there and peg it out, and then you've got privacy, just using shady gear walls, which are quick, easy, and very lightweight to set up. So you've got a lot of different options there, and it's you just Velcros up, or you can zip it up on the inside.
With the other rooftop tent, we had a little annex that come out off the front here, but you got all your drawers.
That's the original clamshell rooftop tent that came with the trailers to start with. I think I prefer the Crazy Dog tent big time, Steve, with that. Once again, this awning out the front here on the old tent used to keep your walk-up area thing. At the moment now, the walk-up area does get rain in there. It got rain in there the other night because there's not a lot of coverage over there. But the ladder certainly stays dry.
Full bar and everything there, so you really got nowhere to sit or anything around there. But around this side here, if we were just pulling up for an overnight stop, and you've seen how quick this set up, 2 minutes, we could set a chair up here, sit under here, wouldn't have to worry about putting the awning out on the other side, and we can still use our kitchen. We can pull it out, quickly make a cuppa, push it away, and still sit here.
Steve, have you only put the rear of the awning out there?
No, that's the old super peg one that takes 2 or 3 people to set it up.
Oh, righto. So that's
not the freestanding one.
Because your freestanding one comes right around the front. It folds around the front and the back, mate. So it's got fantastic coverage. The new Super Peg Outbound 6 awning, which is just such a breeze to set up, mate, compared to those old Super Peg awnings.
A couple of minutes to pack it back up again, and you're on the road again.
The only pain in the ass when you're packing it away is making sure that you get that canvas in at the sides. So when you pull it down, it doesn't pinch there. So just making sure that canvas is in. But I've only packed it up once, mate. The more I do it, the better and quicker I'll get at it. Only take 3 or 4 times. And that's what I'm going to do after this video today. It's fine at the moment. Pull the camper trailer out, and I'm going to practice on the rooftop tent.
That was one of the reasons. And then the other reason was for this big room that we can put on here. Like the walls come right down in here. You've got the protected room in here that you could either sit in if you were in an area where there was a heap of flies and things, because it's got mesh walls all the way around. You can zip all the sides.
You just hit it on the head there, mate. One thing a Caravan has got a big advantage of is you can go in and get out of the bloody flies. Now, if you're doing a week-long camp and there's a lot of flies around, you take the extra 15 minutes, zip that room on, and then roll all the canvas up. You've got massive big mesh windows to let the air in, and you've got somewhere to sit with no bloody flies and mosquitoes getting you, mate.
Yeah, it makes all the difference, and we've used it a couple of times like that.
Yeah.
Sides up. So that'll be a bonus. The ladder, I had a few people asking me, why would you go back from a walk up to a ladder? Well, I haven't. I was a bit sort of iffy about climbing up a ladder, but now that I've used it a couple of times, it's no trouble at all. If any comes in here, I'll just quickly show you.
But as I said, people are going, oh, Buck, you're going back to a ladder. No, we can still go up the front. We can still use on the other side, still use the front of the camper. You can see there, you put a plastic stool down onto a platform, plastic stool onto that box there and into the big, large window. So you can get in the front of that bloody thing there, or you can go up the ladder. And I think once I get this bloody, what do they call, HC stairs or whatever for the ladder, I'll probably just use the ladder.
As long as you're holding on to it. And have a look at these doors up here.
Yeah, massive.
Or windows, whatever you want to call them. They're really big. So you got no troubles. You can hold onto the ladder all the way up. You get up here. And look at that. I'm in bed. No trouble at all.
It is a big tent in there. Like Roz and I and Rafa were in there the other night, mate. There is heaps of room in that rooftop tent. And I get claustrophobic and that in the swag, mate. That's nice and high. And I don't get claustrophobic in it. It's a nice, generous sized tent.
So at night, with this room we got down here, we can, if we wanted to, we could sit our toilet down there. You could just jump out of one of these little rooms here. You can move that ladder over to the other side here. You got another clip here. But And the thing I really love about this rooftop tent, I did get asked why I didn't go with another style of tent. There's a few others I'd have considered. I looked at the Bundy top when I did the video for Phil.
The Bundu top, as Phil says.
Yeah.
We'll probably leave it there, but yeah. Yeah, so that's a bloody... And I was there the other night, mate. I was pissing down rain, and where your head is there, Steve, I had the canvas done up there because the rain was blowing in that way. So I just zipped the canvas up there, left the one where you come in. You can see it's a good, generous size window so you can get in and out. So you can walk up, get in the tent there, guys, or you can use the ladder. But it was fantastic to sit there, listen to the rain belt down, and having that cover over the two main entrances there. You didn't have to, like, you got no way the rain can blow in there, Steve, because that big sheltered area there, it's a fantastic rooftop tent. I'm really bloody impressed with it, mate. As I said, I've only done one night in it so far, and it friggin' belted down rain on us, and it bloody was perfect. So I'll stop it there. If people want to watch the full thing, they can go and watch that on your channel, mate, eh? Yeah. Anyway, that gives you an idea of what the trailer's like, guys. Plenty of storage, lithium battery in there, airbag suspension, Cruise Master independent suspension. It's not on leaf springs, which I didn't like about my first dot. It used to bounce it too much on the leaf springs. It didn't have shockies. And there was a couple of times there she got a big bounce up and thought, I'm going to lose her here. But mate, that independent Cruise Master suspension is bloody next level, and it tows like a dream, mate. You'd hit some big woo boys between that Marlborough stretch the other day, Steve. That highway shit between Rockhampton and Macquarie, and that trailer just was solid the whole time behind it, mate. You know,
Oh, it is.
Landy's off. I think Landy's off. I've been on for too long. I'm going to go in a minute too.
Yeah, Mike must ask about the room. It's got a full PVC floor and a back in it as well. So
so it's fully enclosed.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's got a vinyl floor, Mike, fully enclosable, mate. Massive windows, so you can zip the canvas down if it's bad weather and raining, or if it's hot and you need some airflow, wind the canvas up, and got massive mesh windows on about three sides, Steve, isn't it? Is it all three
it's
sides?
on all three sides, yeah. And you can, the actual vinyl in the back of it, you can zip it down as well so that you can still open the doors on the side of the rooftop, like on the camper.
Well, how dare Buck didn't take Winnie camping? What are you on, Maniac? What's that mean? Yeah, so Tony Purdy's got a .7, guys. He's got a rooftop tent, but hasn't got the canopy on. So Tony's rooftop tent's down really low, so he hasn't got the canopy. But I'll tell you what, Steve, I was going through it. Yeah,
I just did notice Ed on there earlier. Hey, Ed, how are you, mate? Make sure everyone get on and check out Ed's camping and four-wheel drive. Like he's just doing a series on the Cape. It's absolutely amazing. He looked like death warmed up there on the last one. The old FJ wouldn't start on him. The old starter motor, it is a known problem with the FJ. You go through water crossings and things like that. The starter motors tend to get a bit of water in them, and they won't start. Old Ed, it was the start of his trip. He's the first creek crossing, and he woke up the next day and the old FJ wouldn't start.
Yeah. You know what? That's the Achilles heel of some of the Land Cruisers too, was the bloody starter motor, Steve. I know All for Adventure, first thing they did on their 200s and 79s is they put aftermarket starter motors. I think Toyota, that's a common thing with a lot of Toyotas, mate, I've heard, is the bloody starter motor. Speaking of starter motors, the BTs went on our trip and we had to get a new starter motor put in at Orbost down in Victoria. So, yeah, it was just wear and tear. She's starting to get hard and put a new starter motor in and away she went. So, yeah.
And make sure you watch all the ads in Ed's Camping, because he is donating any money he makes from Google right up to the camping event to the Legends for Charity. So that's a really generous thing Ed's done. So,
yeah, good on you, Ed. As I said, go in and watch Ed's four-wheel drive and camping for 6 months. all his AdSense Google money that he gets from his YouTube channel, guys. He's donating a whole lot to the Legends of Charity next year at the Goombara thing for the care flight and the Southern Arc Downs animal shelter. So good on you, Ed, for doing that. That's Ed's way of giving to the charity. So get in and watch Ed's channel. Watch the ads, guys. As I know they're a pain in the bum, but the more people that watch his clips, the more money he makes through Google and the more money he donates to the Legends.
Just turn the TV on and go to his channel and then walk away. Let it run all day.
Yeah, I'm going to sit there and he's doing the Cape York at the moment. That's always a good one. So speaking of Legends, sorry, Steve, go again.
Oh yeah, go with the Legends. We're just doing the shirts at the moment. I've got to sit down this afternoon and we've got all the sponsors' logos in now. As you know, the long sleeve shirt, we've been holding off on it because we've been waiting on the sponsors to come through, but we've got them all now. And we are coming up with a new colour, and it'll be based on that stubby cooler.
Yeah.
With the colour. And I can show you a rough design, but the logos aren't set. So that'll be roughly the colour of the shirt.
I think I like that better than the other one, mate, with the pink in it.
Yeah, but it'll have all the sponsors' logos on it. So stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. No, you're doing a good job with the Legends. Now, the way I want to contribute to this is there's a few different ways I'm thinking about, guys. Thinking about bringing out a Mr. Buckaroony 2024 calendar. I just got to find someone who can do it at a good price so that I don't have to charge a thing. But I basically just want to get me money back on the calendar and maybe make $10 a calendar and give everything I make, all the profit goes. As you know, I don't do any merch to make money for myself, guys. It's always for charity. So I'm looking at a Mr. Buckaroony calendar, but the places I've looked at the moment, it just, by the time you pay 30, people aren't going to pay $40 for a calendar. I want to pay $10 for a calendar, charge $20 and give $10 of it to the Legends charity. The other thing I want to do, if you are watching, if you see this, someone last year, and I'm sorry, mate, I can't remember who you were. I had your note and I can't find it. Someone sent me a whole heap of embroidered patches. I don't know. I think he does them himself on a machine that he's got. He sent me stuff like this, mate. Aussie flags, a lot of veterans stuff. Veterans' lives matter. I'm a veteran. We only kneel for the Queen, for the fallen, or to open fire. Mike Blakely, you'd like that one, mate. I love that saying. We don't kneel for anything else. Or the King now, the Queen. Oh, the Queen's gone. Everyone was commenting on that one, Steve. Isn't that a beauty?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I've got the actual flag hanging up in my shed of that exact thing. It's a bloody. Oh, where is it?
No, it's a bit different.
No, it's a little bit different, but I've actually got that hanging up in the shed. I think that one. That is a beauty. I'd love to have that patch as part of my Buckaroony patch kit for people to buy. That one, everyone. I know Nikki Slade, Brett Hooker. Brett Hooker said I'd buy a heap of them to give them away to people. So everyone loved that one. This is just he's got another one here. I'll show you a couple more. Hey?
Just get Anthony Purdy's put up an acronym for what DOT stands for.
Drifter Off-Road Tourer. Has he got another one?
Yeah. Anthony Purdy's.
I hope it's clean, is it, Tony? Or I'll have to bang you.
Anthony Purdy's put it up.
Yeah, where's he put it?
Diddly Donk Aussie Trailer.
Oh,
DOT.
I did see that. Where is that? Diddly Donk. Yeah.
Diddly Donk Aussie Trailer. That's a beauty.
Tony, yours looks good, mate. I like how you've got the rooftop tent down. Here's another one. Anyone know what that one is? What's that one, everyone? What's that flag, Steve? First one, put it up there. You win nothing. I got nothing to give you. What is that flag? What is that flag? Phil W., if you're on, you should know it. What is that flag, everyone? First one wins nothing. Wins a shout out. Come on. I can't see anyone. Everyone's stumped. What is that flag?
New Guinea.
No, it's not Papua New Guinea. No, nowhere near it. What is that flag? Yes. Well, I know it's Maori. Sorry, it's the Maori flag, guys, from New Zealand. It's the Maori flag. You know, we've got Torres Strait Island Aboriginal flags. Well, the Maoris, the Māori, I think it's Māori is how you pronounce it. That's the Māori flag in New Zealand. So it's not the New Zealand national flag, but that's the flag of the Māori people. There you go. So that was another one that he goes. So if you're watching, mate, he sent me I've got a heap of them. And tomorrow I'm going to go to Coles Vinyl. I'm going to ask him about that ladder thing. And I'm also buying about 2 meters of inch wide Velcro, because all these don't have Velcro on the back. I'm sticking the Velcro on the back, and these are all going on the camper trailer. All these patches, Steve. Australian Army Rising Sun badge, lest we forget. So whoever sent all this to me, can you get in touch with me, please? Because I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to get a buckaroony patch kit going, and they'll be that size. They'll be Velcro on the back, guys. If I can't get them Velcroed, I'll do it myself, because I've got the capability to do that, just buying it from the local canvas place. And I want to do a couple of Gidgee Gorilla patches. I want to do a Mr. Buckaroony patch, a Rafa patch, a Townsville Chiefs patch. Might do an In the Trenches with Kaz patch. And I probably, because of the interest this one's getting, I'll probably do that. I might do a patch of a pack of 5 or 6 patches and sell them at the charity event next year, Steve. So everyone can buy a Mr. Buckaroony patch kit. So I'll donate the patches if I can get them at a decent price, mate. If they're like, I've been getting quotes for $4 a patch. If I want to buy 100, that's $400. And I want to get like 6 patches done. It's too much money. I can't afford to do that. I'm hoping whoever got these made can get them made real cheap for me. Even do them at cost, because I'm not making anything out of it. It's going to charity. I want to get a Buckaroony patch kit done up, because I'll tell you what, they look good when they're stuck on your drawer system or the roof of your 4-wheel drive, or in my case, all this is going on the camper trailer, Steve, because I've got a heap of carpeted areas on the kitchen and that of the camper trailer to stick all my patches. So I'm going to get some more Velcro tomorrow to stick all this up. So if you're out there, mate, and you're the person who sent me all that bloody big bag of different patches, a lot of military patches and that, get in touch with me, please. I'm hoping you can help me out to get some cheap patches made up for the Legends Camp next year, and that'll be my contribution. I was just thinking, even if I've got a pack of 4 or a pack of 6 patches, Steve, sell them for 30. People can pay $30 for 6 patches or whatever, and that whole $30 goes towards the Legends charity. And if I sell 100 packs of patches, which I reckon we do, there's $3,000 to the charity. You know, that's how I'm thinking, mate. But I've just got to try and, yes, a Rafa patch, Swag and Sisters. Yes, there'll be I don't know if I said that. There will be a Rafa patch. You can guarantee it as part of the Mr. Buckaroony patch kit. There will be a Rafa patch, and it will be that Rafa where the Buckaroony. So 2 of the patches will be the Mr. Buckaroony logo with the Australia and Mr. Buckaroony, and the other patch will be the Rafa with actually Rafa written under him next to the Buckaroony thing. If you can see that in the background there, Steve.
Yeah, no, that'll look good, Buck.
That'll be 2 of the patches, mate. So that's how I'm going to contribute to the thing next year, if I can find the person who bloody got these made up for me, because that's one I want to get done. Wouldn't everyone would love that on the roof of their 4B or on their camper trail? And it's embroidered, Steve. It's not a printed one. That's fully embroidered. It's a slick looking bloody. All these are embroidered, so they can obviously get them done. The Rising Sun badge, all embroidered. They look really good, and they'll have Velcro on the back, so you can stick them up to whatever you want to stick them to. So, yes, Wagons, good to hear from you. Mike, you don't have to buy them, mate. I'd send you over a set for nothing for being such a bloody a good supporter of the channel, mate. So you and Slacken and Steve Wilkes, Steve W over there in England, Phil Webber, you'll all get a packet, old bloody thing. So
Slacken's going to bed.
Slacken's going to bed. See you, Slacken. Hope you're good, mate. It's probably getting a bit late at night over there. Hey, speaking of which, anyone see the boxing this morning? Tyson Fury beat Francis Nagama or whatever his name is. And they reckon the MMA boxer, the MMA fighter, Francis Ngannou or whatever his name was, they reckon he beat Fury hands down and Fury won it on a split point decision. Boxing has got to be the most corrupt sport in the world, mate. It is corrupt. Remember back in the days when Jeff Fennick got bloody beaten by Azuma Nelson, and Fennick clearly won that fight, and everyone just went, boxing's rigged, and it is. And it is. And in that case, that Don King piece of shit was bloody involved in that decision-making, I reckon. The judges get bribed, guys. I'm convinced that the judges get paid off by the sporting agencies and that, because if Fury lost that fight, they would have lost a lot of money, the betting, all the betting agencies, and I reckon that they get bloody say good night, Slacken. Sweet dreams. Count heaps of sheep, mate. I reckon you get up to 1,000 before you fall asleep. I don't know if you do that. You might count mooses over there when they go to bed. We count sheep down here in Australia. They might count mooses over there in Canada, or beavers. No one's slacking. He'd be counting beavers for sure, that bloke. Let me tell you. I'll slacken. There's no shortage of messages coming through from Slacken, is there, Steve? He bombards.
Some of them are bloody good.
Yeah, there's some good ones he sends. There's no doubt. Slacken loves sending me a lot of military documentaries and all that type of stuff too, especially from the Vietnam War. Really interesting stuff. Yeah, boxing's rigged for sure. Steve, if I've forgotten to mention anything, mate, before we go, I've been on too long. I'm going to let everyone get on with their weekend. But there you go, guys. I've bought Steve's .6. It's a .6 with airbag suspension. Our last trailer was a .7. It was a 7-footer. This one is a .6. It's got bloody all the bells and whistles, mate. It's a brilliant trailer, Steve. You've looked after it. You've got a lot of extra stuff that comes with it. Not only that room that zips on, you've also got another shade thing that zips on. I'm going to practice with that, but it's not fully enclosed. I can put shady gear walls up there. I've got a really easy 270 bloody super. I just walk the front around, ratchet strap it, walk the back around. None of this Ros holding poles and that and whatever while I'm trying to set it up. It's just going to be so quick and easy to set up. If it's on a bloody lean, I just hit a button and she goes brrr, and the airbag suspension. I've got a tyre pump there so I can pump my tyres up. It's got all the bells and whistles, mate. It's got a great kitchen, a good bloody fridge. And I don't know if I told you or not, the reason your fridge works better than the one that I had in the .129, same fridge, 60-litre Evercool, Aussie-made Evercool, my cooling element only went halfway around. You've got the full cooling element. Yeah. Because I got the beer, your last man standing beers out of it the other day, and I thought, oh boy, they are bloody beautiful and cold. There's no way my old fridge would have got that. I had to put my old fridge down on -2 or 3 to get things cold enough. It's because I only had half the fridge with a cooling element. Yours goes all the way around. You've got yours set to +2 or +3. Beautiful icy cold beers coming out of there, mate. So, yeah, going to be fantastic. We'll cryovac. If we're going away for a week or two, we'll cryovac all our meat up, put it in one side, and the meat will stay really cold. And, you know, when you cryovac your meat, Steve, you can get bloody couple of weeks, you know, when it's cryovacked up. So I don't need to run a freezer is what I'm trying to say there. So, yeah. Anyway, Gidgy saying goodnight to Slacken. Talk to you soon, Mark. Hopefully we can do a live feed before the end of the year from overseas with both Slacken and Mike Blakely. Steve Wilkes, I'd love to do one with you one night, mate. Steve W. over in the UK. Phil Webber over the ditch. Wouldn't it be good to get some more international guys on and have a chat and just talk about shit in general? You know, talk to Mike Blakely about what he does in Colorado. Where does he go camping? And we'll probably end up talking about bears and bloody all that shit again like we did with Slacken. But everyone loves that shit. It's really interesting. Mike Blakely said, smash the like button, everyone. Thanks so much, Mike. Send me an email, please, Mike. p.rogers65@bigpond.com. Rogers, Rodgers. I'd love to do a live feed with you one Sunday morning, Mike, like I'm doing with Steve here. And everyone can, we'll have a chat, mate. I think it'll be great. Talk about camping and all that type of stuff. I think it'll be a bloody fantastic Sunday morning chat. Anyway, guys, Enjoy the rest of the week.
Get everyone to hit the like and subscribe on mine as well. I only need about another 45 subscribers to get to 3,000.
Let's get righto. Let's go. Before we go, let's get fuller. If you have not subscribed to SAW Adventures, everyone, SAW Adventures, get on there now. Hit the bloody new tab button, SAW Adventures on YouTube, and hit subscribe. Steve, get on there and see if we can get you to. What are you doing? You're nearly at 3,000, are you?
Nearly at 3,000.
Let's get SAW Adventures over the line, guys. If you have not subscribed to Steve's channel, he does it like me, guys. He does it as a hobby, and the money that he makes from it, he gives it to charity and stuff. He's another one of the good guys who doesn't.
Any of my merch or that, all the profits are all going to the legends.
Yeah. And yet, I was watching a guy he was doing a live feed this morning during the boxing match, and I reckon I could have done it. He had 40,000 people on there. He's an American guy. He was from an MMA channel, and he was doing a live feed. Anyway, he said, I'm never watching boxing again. It's rigged. He was obviously going for Francis Ngannou or whatever his name was, who clearly won the fight by the sounds of it, and they gave it to Tyson Fury, who was the boxer. But he was just sitting there, and just a lot of the feed was referencing sexual stuff, and it was pretty shoddy live feed, if you ask me. And he's just sitting there basically asking people for money during the live feed. If you want a shout out, give me a super chat, give me a $10 super chat and I'll give you a shout. I'm thinking, all you're doing there, mate, is watching like what I'm doing now. You're watching a boxing match, asking people for money for yourself.
Thanks, Maria.
We always bloody give back to charity, Steve, and that's why you and Snorky and all these guys, we don't do it for ourselves. We do it for charity. I'm not monetized anymore, Steve. I used to be on my old channel. I'm not monetized now. So, but if I ever do monetize again, guys, you can guarantee that all the money will go towards charity and go back to it, so I can do prize giveaways and all that type of stuff. So get on to SAW Adventures, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to me, hit subscribe and also hit that notification bell, because a lot of people go, oh, Buck, I didn't know you were going live. If you hit the notification bell, that sends you a message so that you know that I'm going live and you don't miss out, because a lot of people, it's not the same watching it on a replay, Steve, a live feed, is it? No. It's better to watch it and interact in the chat room like all you guys have done this morning. We've got 140 on. Wow.
We had 100 and nearly 200 there at one stage, Buck.
Oh, early. Well, for everyone who came on this morning, thank you so much. Another success. Steve, thank you for coming on, mate. Thank you to you and Annie and Winnie for selling us your camper trailer, mate. I know for a fact we're going to be very happy in that. I was sitting there the other day at some of the rest stops and I was in my shed yesterday tinkering with it, and I just know I'm going to be happy. I wasn't happy with the Caravan. The Caravan didn't do it for me. I don't know why.
Thanks, Kevin.
Didn't feel like I was camping in it. I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to be back to my roots with this camper trailer. It's going to feel like I'm camping. We're not going to be doing massive big 6 months trips in it. It'll be a weekend here, a weekend there, a week here. When we come down to the Legends camp next one, we'll probably we'll turn that into a 2 or 3 week holiday, mate. And
thanks,
go down and then work our way back up the coast. Mike Blakely's off. Mike, thank you, mate. Get in touch with me. And love to do a live feed with you, mate. I reckon it'll be then. Mike, subscribe to SAW Adventures. Good stuff. And as I said, Steve's got you do a bit like me, mate. You do cook-ups and camping clips and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's stuff, and you keep it all positive, mate. No negative stuff on there. So, and that's what I try and do here, guys. Try and keep it fairly positive. I know I'll go and have a rant every now and then. People love my rants, but I try not to do it too much.
I'll tell you what. The best video you put up lately is that bloody snake video.
I don't know. I haven't checked how many views. Last I checked, that had 22,000 views. Me catching the 2 snakes the other night in the shed. It had 22,000 views. I'll tell you how many it's had now. Just bear with me quickly. I'll go into my channel. Oh, Google account. You idiot, Buck. Where's my channel? No. I can't even work out how to get into my own. Oh, view your channel. My channel videos. Where's the snake?
They've changed it all around. It's bloody hard to
Yeah,
navigate now.
it's different, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
I was looking at it the other day.
well, it's up to 23 now, mate. It's up to 23,000 views. Russell Coit catching 2 snakes in the shed. It was bloody funny. And everyone's going, but good to see you got all the safety gear on, me rubber thongs and me rubber pluggers and bloody shorts and, yeah, catching them. Not that they were highly venomous taipans or eastern browns, but they're cranky buggers and they can latch onto you and they're mildly venomous, so you don't want to get bitten by them. And
yeah, I'm not sure there. Like I didn't say anything. We've been a bit worried lately because the snakes have been bad around here.
yeah,
And our next door neighbour, they had a big dog, and they think it got taken by a snake the other day because it was dead out the side of the house here, just next to us. And the dog was only 2-year-old.
It'd be an east. What do you get out there? Eastern browns or mulgars?
Yeah,
mate?
yeah, brown snakes and that, and red belly blacks as well.
Well, red belly blacks are highly venomous. They're not as bad as an eastern brown, but when you get up into Australian venomous snakes, none of them are good, mate. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, you get bitten by a red belly black, you can die from them if you don't get the proper treatment. But an eastern brown or a taipan or a death adder, you get nailed by one of them bad boys and you don't get to hospital in a hurry and get that antivenin, you are history. So I think when you take into all the, there's 3 or 4 different types of tiger snakes. If you take that into account, just don't say tiger snake because there's different species of them. We've got 21 of the top 25 most venomous snakes in the world in Australia. But if you just combine all the tiger snakes into one thing, we've still got, well, the top 5, I think, are bloody inland taipan, eastern brown. There's now a desert taipan, which is different to an inland taipan, who's 3rd. And then you've got the coastal taipan and then the death adder, I think it is. So there's the top 5. And then that doesn't include your sea snakes, which we get around here in Australia off the Barrier Reef and that.
I was only thinking there the other day, though, I could, when you were saying about showing all the snakes in the shed, remember when you used to have people coming up there and camping in your bloody shed on stretchers? You had there one stage, you had about 5 blokes.
Yeah.
Would they do that now? If I ever go to your place, I'm not sleeping in the shed.
Luke, well, I'll tell you, camped here one night. Luke and Richard McDonald and Kaido and all them were on their way up to Cape York and they overnighted here and we had a big cook up and that. And I remember Kaido was just rolling his swag out on the shed floor. And I said, look out for that big python up in the rafters, Kaido. And Kaido's like, look, he's looking up there going, is Buck joking or not? Well, no, there are. And I've had some big scrub pythons, big scrubbies up there, 4 or 5 meteries, big enough to take bloody Rafa for a Scooby snack. So, yeah, 23,000 views, Nags, the old snake thing. If you haven't seen it, guys, you want to have a laugh at how useless I am, go and watch me catching 2 snakes in the shed. I caught the first one okay, and then while I'm talking, I spotted another one. There was 2 of them in there, and I think it was a male and a female. And looking back, Steve, I reckon one of them might have been the female. That was getting close to 2 meters long. It was a decent size snake. And they can be really, people go, oh, I just tail them, Buck, pick them up by the tail, like buggery. I tail on anything that we go, oh, danger noodles. I'm not keen on them. The old danger noodles.
Next time especially when you put them in an esky, stand it up on its end and open the door that way. Don't lay it on the ground and tip it up.
Yeah, I know. And there's a trick to that. Johnny Christie, g'day, mate. How are you? Johnny used to do acrobatic bloody flying, and they used to work with John. He's another Kiwi over the ditch there in New Zealand. Bloody hope you and Nat are well, mate. Yeah, the trouble is, mate, when I got him with a snipper, he wrapped around, which they do. They wrap around, and then by the time I get the esky lid down and he unraveled, like he was out. He would come out like a Polaris missile. But we got another funny snake story. When I was a copper, people used to ring up the police station because Innisfail didn't have a snake catcher. And they ring the cop shop up. And one night, guess whose house we had to go around to catch a snake in her house? Roz's mum. And they go, 222, this is Innisfail. I go, yeah, go ahead. They go, can you go to this address over at East Innisfail? lady's got a snake in her house. So we turn up there. It's Roz's mum. She's got a bloody snake behind her bookcase. Anyway, one of the sergeants at the station, Phil Brasher, he had one of them snake snippers. But the trouble is it wasn't 1 point. It was only like a little 50 centimetre one. So it was tiny. I got the big 1.2 metre one. So we went to a few snake jobs and we caught one at Roz's mum. We get another call one night. Can you go to this address? They've got a snake in their carport. And when I got there, I pulled up and I looked over and I thought, oh, you're kidding. It was a massive scrub python, Steve. And I mean massive. It was a big 4 metre-y, belly on him like that. And I'm trying to catch him with the little snippers. So I had a first-year constable with him, big Tongan lad, Andy Alvarez, I think his name was. Andy had the little snippers. And I said, you go down to the pointy end, mate. You grab his head with a snipper, and then I'll grab him by the tail. So Andy gets him with his little thing around gets him by the knee. He's thrashing around. And then he goes, grab his tail, Buck. I said, have you got him? I wanted to make sure he had his head properly, because if I grab his tail, he's going to come around. And one of them big latches onto you. They don't let go. They got teeth on them like a great white shark. So we ended up getting him, and I thought, and I got back to the police station and said, Phil, I said, this is bullshit, mate. We're not trained snake catchers. I said, that looked like comedy papers, us trying to grab that. And then another note. Hey, we've got a snake in our car bonnet. We can't start our car. So they ring the cop shop. So around we come. And I don't know what this snake was, but it was brown. So to me, it was an eastern brown. It was deadly venomous and whatever. So I'm pouring water on it and spraying it with a hose, and it wouldn't come out of this guy's car engine. And I said, how am I going to get him out? And I thought, I know how I'll get him out. I got my capsicum spray out and I sprayed it. Well, he come out like a Polaris missile. And don't tell anyone, but I donked him on the head with a shovel, because I think it was a brown snake. I donked him on the head with a shovel and relocated it to snake heaven. So I put a report in. I had to use my capsicum spray. Yeah, right. Who'd you spray? I said, it wasn't a who, it was a thing. They said, what did you spray? I said, a snake. Well, the senior sergeant got me in his office and tore shreds off me. Who gave you permission to bloody OC spray a snake? I said, well, don't send us to friggin' snake jobs and we won't have to do it. I said, we're not trained snake catchers. I wasn't putting my hand in there. So anyway, I got a kick in the ass for that one, for using my OC spray on a snake. And then after that, they said, nah, we're not sending cops to snake jobs anymore. They're not trained, because, imagine us going to a taipan job, Steve, and then getting tagged by a taipan because we're not trained in catching snake. You don't want to get tagged by a taipan. You'll be friggin' dead in 10 minutes if you don't get to the hospital. So anyway, a few more snake stories for you guys. And I don't like the bastards, the old danger noodles. I don't like them. I don't like hairy spiders. What else don't I like? I don't like sharks. I don't like crocodiles. We got lots of shit here that can kill you, and I don't like any of it. But anyway, I'm talking shit now. See you, Steve. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Thank you,
mate.
everyone.
Thanks very much. Enjoy the camper.
Yeah, I will, mate. And I'll probably do some clips once I get used to how to use everything. I'm not going to go out and film me putting the bloody rooftop tent up until I'm good at it and looks like I know what I'm doing with it. But it's a very easy setup, easy to pack down. I think we're going to be very happy. And if I can get that thing for the ladder that you saw, the HC ladder from iCamper, I think it's going to be even better, mate. So,
well,
but
if
as you said,
Jason ever gets back off holidays, you might be able to talk him into it.
Well, I think he's a bit busy now doing zone RV stuff, mate. But Crazy Dog, if you watch it, mate, get onto that, mate. I think there's a market for those things. Anyone who makes canvas products, get onto that, because how many people in Australia, Steve, camp in rooftop tents?
Oh,
thousands of people, thousands. And I think it's the way to go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Fat Pixie, Gidgy Gorilla, everyone who tuned in this morning. There was bloody nearly 200 of yous on there at one stage. Make sure you subscribe. 208, great stuff. Make sure you subscribe to Soar Adventures. Get Steve over the 3,000, and let's get him over there. Everyone. Yeah, no, good stuff, mate. Good night, everyone, or good morning, I should say, or good afternoon. It's 12:21 here in Queensland on Sunday the 29th. So, late Saturday night, probably over in the US. Slacken's already gone to bed. It's past his bedtime. And down in bloody the southern states, it's 1:21 in the afternoon. Let you get on with your weekend. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.